Oh, I got to remember to do the mute thing for the intro video.
Press the damn mute, nerd.
Yeah. Quit effing around.
Shut up, Jeff.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
Hey, Robert Pena, B.L., Trey B., Lala Moloso.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I missed a couple. Speaking of Lala Moloso, reminds me, I missed a couple things that I didn't add to the audio. I'll just play them straight off the website.
Okay. Hey, Lee B., Kenny Blair, 89 Raider. What's up, fam?
Write that in on your format there.
For voicemails?
Yeah.
Y'all got an extra pen?
Yeah.
It's okay.
With share.
Oh, yeah, let's grab yours.
Look at share.
No, I can't find it. Shoot.
Hey, Just Win Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Wendy.
Jack Tanner, Jay Jackson, Elon Bush.
All right, here we go. It is episode number 298 of Raiders Fan Radio. Whoops. I got to hit the record button. Jeez. All the buttons.
Hit them all.
Hey, it's Mike Garoppolo here in the home office, and you are listening to the Raiders Fan Radio podcast, taking that lighter journey into the dark side with Murph, Swag Jeff, and Michelle. She's got great hair. It's a little pink, it's a little purple, whatever it is. I'll tell you what, if I could grow it, I would sign up for that color today. So listen to her and the entire crew as they give you all the information on the Raiders on the podcast that benefits the One Nation Foundation. It's a great cause. It's a great pod. Tune in, turn it up. Here it comes. All that Raiders info and takes coming at you right now.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, LA, Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Political, a leaping pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players, you have a great organization, and you tell them one thing, just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down. Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
I do too.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio. Take it away, guys.
Why, thank you, Brett Musburger. What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murph back once again for what we trust will be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio. Episode number 298 coming at you of Raiders Fan Radio as the Raiders, I don't know if you guys heard this or not, we're freaking 1-0.
Yeah, we are.
Victory! Let's freaking go, guys.
Oh,
Let's go. And oh yeah, by the way, I don't know if you guys heard this either. We are all alone in first place.
damn right.
Where we should be.
It's
That's
a
right.
it's a beaut. Unbelievable. We're gonna get obviously into a ton of stuff tonight about the game. We're gonna get into it quick, so we'll keep the intro here at the top of the show brief. But we appreciate all of those of you that are joining in the chat room tonight. Everybody that's joining us live at youtube.com/RaidersFanRadio. The best chat room there is, and not only all of Raider Nation, but all of sports, if you ask us. So appreciate everybody that is in there. Appreciate everybody listening on the audio podcast, and you can find us on any audio podcast service or your internet connected device just by searching or asking for Raiders Fan Radio. We are on the Spotify, we're on the Stitchers, we're on the Apple, we're on the Googles, we're on the Pandora, we're on the
Amazon Music,
iHeartRadio, you name it. If they have podcasts, they got us. So we appreciate those of you that are listening on the audio. And if you're an audio listener, check us out on the YouTubes. Hit the subscribe button over there. All of it helps, man. Anytime that you can help us promote the show, all of it helps because it generates advertising opportunities for us, and that generates money for our foundation, our nonprofit, which is the One Nation Foundation. And so anybody that is live on the YouTube tonight, if you're not an audio podcast subscriber, help us out, man. Help us out. Head over to the audio podcast and hit the subscribe, hit a like, hit a review. All those things are hugely important. And as much as we are appreciative of our monetary donations that so many good folks make to our nonprofit, the best way to drive money into the foundation is by sharing the show. It ain't about really building this show. It's about building our foundation. So we appreciate everybody that does that, because again, we get these advertising opportunities. We've got another new corporate partner coming on that's going to join us. Michelle, we haven't even told you about this yet.
You haven't.
Okay, so this will be interesting. Yeah. So the Manscaped folks are joining us. So
Score.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
Yep.
so absolutely. So we're gonna be partnering up with Manscaped. I think maybe as soon as next week. So I just signed the contract today. So
There's going to be a lot of happy ladies out there.
Yeah. Well, it's not just for it's not just for men, is it?
Oh.
no, it's not just for men.
okay.
Yeah. So
Whoa,
Be a lot of
man.
happy
Whoa,
everybody.
Manscaped.
Whoa, man.
Well, that's what they said. They're like, it works when you do your reads. It's best if everybody has used the product and
Okay.
everybody and you have it in your hand.
Sweet. Okay.
So we're gonna.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there we go. We're gonna go for
So
it.
we're all gonna hold razors. Whoa.
Yes.
We'll hold the
Yeah.
hold the
Yeah.
shavers or whatever. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay,
I
yeah.
can't wait.
Yeah. Not like shave it on air though. We don't want, unless you're gonna do your chest or something.
Yeah, well, you
That's
know.
that's another. That's
Don't
for a
tell us
whole
about
nother-
your life.
Don't tell me about your
Jeff will
life.
do that on his OnlyFans.
There you
that
go.
Ron was
That's
just
it.
talking
That's
about.
it. Yeah, Ron said if Swag loses any more weight, he's gonna have to change his profile on OnlyFans from, like, what do you say, Chunky Monkey to Mean Green Bean or something like that.
Nice. So that disembodied voice that you heard, for those of you that are on the YouTubes, is the guy that adorns the left side of the bar here at the Murph's Fan Cave Bar. He's my best friend and yours. He is Swag Jeff.
It's started in profile.
What up, Swaggo?
And we're 1-0. I'm fired up. There's a lot to talk about, and I'm telling you, we've been talking about it all off season, that the team feels different, and we got to see that firsthand on Sunday. So I
Absolutely.
can't wait to break it down. Can't wait to talk about it. All that stuff. There's so many amazing people in the chat. We already got 57 people here.
Sweet.
Right
Shout
here
out.
at the top of the show. Ty Davis, DJ Lenny Danger, of course, Michelle, our good friend Uncle Mosh is in the building. Yeah. Chef B, who has just become a 2-month member of the Raiders Fan Radio
Chef B.
page. Yeah, so much respect. Paul is in there.
Paul?
Vibrators in
Yeah,
there. Elon Bush, Just Win Wendy, Rogue Code, Jay Jackson. Let's see, Jack Kenna's in there. Mr. G's Raiders is in there. Robert Pena, John Ogle, Pirate 1975. Raider John is in there.
Hey, John.
Matthew Mangus. We got the whole crew, man. But
Gosh.
Murph, we don't do the show alone.
Heck no.
No, and thank goodness for that. So to my left over here, adorning the bartender spot once again at the bar, please welcome in our good friend, Michelle Sweat.
Hey, guys.
Oh, Michelle.
I love that intro. That's so good. Yeah, listen, I'm running on fumes from my art show, the 2-day
My
art
gosh,
show
and I
this
hear
week.
that
I'm
you
running fumes.
crushed it.
I did. It was a really good show. I sold more art than I anticipated, and I have a show on Saturday, so I'm currently not sleeping, trying to get art ready for this coming show. But yeah, it was an incredible weekend. But I might be running on fumes, but that W's getting me through the week.
Absolutely.
That'll do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wait till we go 2-0 after
Oh,
we beat the
listen.
freaking Bills, right?
Going down. We are. We will be 2-0.
I'm telling you, we're going
The
2-0.
next show, we're going to be
Yep.
2-0.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? And I
can.
I
Well,
said this.
Marcus Peters is about to get a pick or two.
Oh, yeah.
It's time.
Josh
It's
Allen's
time.
going to Josh
time.
Allen because he's kind of good for a couple of,
He's good to take a shot once he
Couple of
gets out of the
things.
pocket. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
All it takes is one.
That's it.
All it
it.
takes
Little
is
bit of
one. And I'm
pressure.
not an advocate to injure players, but man, it's football. It's a tough game.
Play some football.
Hey,
There
you
you go.
get outside
Right.
the pocket, you start running around.
That's on you.
Somebody pops you.
That's it.
You just whatever. That's one of the big knocks against Josh Allen, right? But anyways,
Yeah,
we'll
it's true.
we'll
We'll
get
get
to
there,
that.
we'll get there.
We'll get there. But anyways, so here at the top of the show, we take our episode number and tie it back to something significant within Raider Nation, and that duty goes to my best friend and yours, Swag Jeff. Swaggo, what do we got tonight?
Well, yeah. So, like Murph said, so yes, every single week. This is episode 298. We're gonna go back, Murph.
How far are you going back?
Way back.
How far you going back?
Way back.
As we go a little something like this.
Hit it. So we're going back to
Sony muted us on Facebook.
Lame.
because of that.
Because of that right there, they muted us on the Facebooks. And I think they only muted that part of the video.
They should
It
be
wasn't-
glad we're-
wasn't a copyright strike, but they muted us. I'm like, you petty
What
bitches.
bitches?
Yeah. We're about to go gangsta all up in Facebook. You know what I mean?
Now
know what I
guess
mean?
what?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going back to December 3rd, 1972.
Ooh,
So yeah,
nice.
so the Raiders that
Wait a
day.
minute. That's not the Immaculate Deception, is it?
It is not the Immaculate Deception.
Okay.
The Raiders beat the San Diego Superchargers that day by a score of 21-9 in the middle of a 6-game winning streak to end the 1972 Oakland Raiders season. On that day, mostly on the ground, the Raiders improved their season to 8-3-1 by combining for a total of 298 yards of offense.
Hey, nice one, Jeff.
Fantastic.
Well, yeah.
All right, we appreciate you, Raider Nation. Appreciate everybody that's joined us here tonight for episode number 298. And so let's go ahead and jump into some contact info. And then, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
Woo! Woo!
Woo! Hey, Raider Nation, you got your old Uncle Mosh here with an
Mosh.
updated contact info. So sit up, zip up, shut up, and pay attention. You can call us at 909-345-3346, or as Murph would say,
909-345-3346.
How about emailing me? You want to email me? Email me.
Yeah.
Show at RaidersFanRadio.com. Or what about reaching out to us on some of that social media stuff Swaggy likes?
Absolutely.
Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. The Twit at Twitter at Raiders
X.
Fan Radio. Insta something. Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio.
Ticky-ticky-tocky-tock.
TikTok at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about the Twitch? Some of you out there Twitch. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio.
At Twitcher.
Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube. America, go to the YouTube. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough, go to your
want more,
podcast
Mosh.
provider and search Raiders Fan Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot.
Good. Oh,
Man, that's like
nice.
several weeks in a
We're
row.
on
Yeah,
fire.
we
We're
are.
on fire.
Even Uncle Mosh in the chat was like, good.
See?
Yeah. And he was
Right
like right
on
on the money
time.
too.
He
Yeah,
was.
Of
he was
course.
good.
He invented it.
That's
Of course he
right.
did.
It's absolutely. It's time. I think it's time since he's in there. I'm gonna invite him now. We need to have Uncle Mark come back and do some more voiceovers. We need to get a lot of
Absolutely.
updated. It's time. That's back in the day when Sonny and I did this show.
Yeah.
That's Uncle Mosh first got involved with Raiders Fan Radio. He did all of our voiceovers, and I call him One Take Jake because he comes in. He'll have it, boom, he hits it on the first try.
Yep.
The only time that he does it is when he'll go off the rails once in a while, and that's when you hear me laughing like that. Because he'll go off the rail, but then he'll take it, like once he realizes he's going off the rails, he'll really go off the rails on purpose just to make it funny.
Absolutely.
So anyways, it's time. It's been
Well, and it might be short notice, but he might need to cut us some new stuff for episode 300.
Oh, that
You know
would
what I
be
mean?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
And so for those of you, so we're on 298, right? We don't think we're going to have the new version of the fan cave set up here by the time we get to 300. So we might skip past 300 and then we'll come back and have our celebratory. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, so speaking of Uncle Mosh,
Yes.
you know, at the top of the show, we like to give a little bit of respect. You know, we don't do props, we don't do shout outs. There's nothing wrong with those things, but we like to give respect.
Murph, Swaggy J, Nation, it's time for a little respect. You know, respect ain't bought, it ain't sold, it ain't demanded, it ain't negotiated, it's earned. And without blowing smoke or giving shameless plugs, we want to say salute and much respect to the following folks.
What and all looks good on us. Go, baby!
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
Jeez.
goodness.
Nothing but frivolity around here at Raiders Fan Radio. So if you can't tell,
That's
we
my
do,
favorite part of the whole
we do a
show.
lighter journey into the dark
The rest of the
side.
shit we say is so
Stupid, but I love this part.
Let's go, baby.
Michelle lost it over there. We lost Michelle.
She gone. It's too much.
We can only go up from here, though.
That's
what
it,
makes
that's it,
that.
yeah.
That's what makes that such a special part of the show is that we can really only go up from there.
Maybe
Yes,
that's it.
absolutely.
Maybe that's
That's
why I
what
like
makes
it
it
so
so
much. Yeah.
Yes. If you're a first-time listener, we're sorry. Or you're welcome.
That's it. There you go.
There you go. We are truly the dog whistle of Raiders podcasting. If you get it, you get it. All right, here we go. So I've got some respect to give here at the top of the show. First off, I want to give respect to, and I know a lot of you that are in the chat room, at least two folks for sure, that made the trip to Denver. And so I want to give respect to the traveling Raider fans.
Yeah.
All right, so when you looked at the stadium there, what do they call it now? Whatever, it's not Sports Authority anymore. Whatever, it's stupid Mile High. But
Is that Empower Field? Or
that's what it
something
is.
like
It's
that now?
Empower Field at Mile High, which is just dumb. But anyways, there was a ton of Raider fans, and now we know Raider fan travels well, and we know that we've seen. Heck, we've been to games, you know, like at Nashville, whatever. We've seen the Raiders take over a game before. That's not, you know, anything that's foreign to us. But I think that in today's world, where the Raiders are being highly criticized for the amount of visiting fans that show up at Allegiant Stadium, I think that by the Raiders showing that, like, yeah, we kind of do that everywhere we go, too. And then also, too, I want to throw this out there to you guys. Did you guys notice that, like, when you watch that game, that Thursday night game, there was a lot of Lions fans.
There sure were.
In
sure
Kansas
was,
City.
yeah.
On the night that they're pulling or they're unveiling their banner for their Super Bowl win, there was a crap ton of Lions fans there. Let me ask you guys this real quick and just throw it around. I feel like it's now going to become a little unfair for the level of criticism that gets lobbied at the Raiders for fans taking over the stadium or whatever, okay? First off, I think that's a little bit overblown. But even that said, I think we are just officially in an era where tickets are so accessible, and especially if you're in a place that's desirable to go to, even in the case like no one wants to go to Kansas City, but do you want to go to Kansas City opening night when your team is expected to have this incredible turnaround, prime time? Like, if there's a reason for fans to travel, I think they will. And I think that we're going to see a lot less of that, you know, other than maybe like, I don't know, like Lambeau in December or stuff like that, where you're going to actually not see a large contingent of opposing fans at other stadiums. I think we're just kind of the whole NFL seems to be going that way.
Yeah, well, and for the specific example that you brought up there, I mean, the Lions are going to be good this year. So, and I think the Lions fans probably know that. So, a lot of those people that were at that game might be people that would have worn the red 15 jersey had it not been for the Lions. So now they can go back to their roots. And kind of like what we talked about too, you know, Las Vegas is still new. The faithful to the Raiders are going to be there no matter what. And, you know, but the newer Las Vegas residents that already kind of had their team of who they rooted for before the Raiders came, you know, those people are still going to root for the Cowboys or the Steelers or the whoever. But if we get some wins under our belt and we make a run, we're going to see a lot more black in that stadium moving forward.
Yeah, I think, yes, that's true. But I also think that Thursday night game kind of negated that whole argument because the Kansas City Chiefs were Super Bowl champions.
That's true.
So people still traveled, you know, to fill up their stadium. So, and I do think winning obviously makes you want to go see your team more. But I do think it's going to become one of those things where people are going to travel to specific games that they want to see, you know, be in the environment or whatever. I think it is going to be more like that.
Yeah.
But winning does help. But it didn't help Kansas City, you know, not let all those Lions
that's
fans
true.
in.
Well, if it's
So-
happening
and who the
everywhere
hell
else,
wants to go to Kansas City?
that's very true.
You know?
Absolutely.
But
Vegas
if it's
is a
happening everywhere
destination.
else, like
Yeah.
we can sleep a little more soundly, Raider Nation,
Exactly.
That's
because
what I'm
this
saying.
isn't just
Exactly.
an,
That's
this isn't
it.
an us issue.
That's right. That's right. That's it.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
you know, and when you look at like a place like, I don't know, I think about like Seattle. Like if you're on the East Coast or even in the Midwest or in the South where we live, that's a long freaking way to go.
Yeah.
Right? You can get to Vegas like that.
Yeah.
You can also get, and I think that the two cities that are most vulnerable to this are Vegas and Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Where
Destination
else? Because
cities.
destination cities where people want to go and they want to hang out for the weekend, and and I know Vegas is pretty much West Coast, but it's Nashville's certainly centrally located, easy to get to from major areas. But again, Vegas is not hard to get to. Vegas makes it real easy for you to get out there.
And there's a million things to do there.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying.
So you
Like,
extend your weekend.
yes, you do.
Yeah.
You mix your vacation in with your trip to Vegas to go
Exactly.
watch the game,
Right.
And even like I think about a place like Miami. Like, who wouldn't want to go to Miami, right?
true.
Well, but if you live in Colorado, getting to Miami is a pain in the ass. You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
Yeah.
like, I think that like when you look at how easy it is to get to Vegas, how much there is to do,
Right.
again, I think Nashville was the blueprint for that idea because look, when the Titans came out of the gate, they went to the Super Bowl. You couldn't buy a ticket at Nissan Stadium at the time. When was it, LP or whatever it was back then?
Yeah, it was Adelphia.
Adelphia.
Coliseum.
Cool.
You couldn't get a ticket to Adelphia. And then all of a sudden, like once like they started getting bad, then all of a sudden it was takeover. It
giving
was,
them away,
It was nothing but
Yeah.
Vikings fans or Ravens fans or whatever. It was or Raider fans we saw 3 times in a row and we beat their ass.
Yeah, we did.
So I mean it's gonna happen. So anyways, I yes, I think that I was pleased. It's not that I ever want to see, black and gold takeovers or Niner red and gold takeovers. Not that we want to see that, but it makes me feel a little bit better about it, like you guys said, knowing that it's going on in other stadiums and especially on the night where the Super Bowl champs are unveiling their banner.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
like, I mean, I'd
that
be
was
way
fun.
more embarrassed by that than the amount of Niner fans that show up at a goddamn preseason game.
Well,
You know what I
and that's-
mean?
And that's
Yes.
kind of what I was getting at too. So like the big knock that first preseason game, there was a lot of red in Allegiant Stadium. But Raider Nation showed out too, and it was freaking loud.
Right.
I mean, with the Raider Nation had a lot to cheer about that day. I know it's just preseason, but like we were making it difficult for the opposing teams. But it's almost, I feel, more important, or I mean, just as important, but maybe more so of how much black and silver we saw at Denver. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, like
Well,
if we
and our
can
buddy-
if we can kind of give that home atmosphere wherever we go,
Yeah.
the home atmosphere will be there at Allegiant Stadium. It'll always be there. I mean, like I said, the faithful will be there. The ride or die Raider Nation will be there. And so that's going to make it a home game for us no matter what.
Well, and speaking of that term faithful, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it does, that's what the Niners call themselves, is the Niner faithful. And our buddy Double Nine, who is our Niners insider in there, says that they took over Pittsburgh this weekend. Like,
there you go.
You know what I mean? Like, as much props as Pittsburgh gets for freaking taking over other stadiums, well, guess what? Guess Heinz Field can get got too. So, I mean, like, so anyways.
No one's safe. I don't think there's any.
I don't think there's
stadium
any,
that's
but at this
safe. Even
point,
the shitty ones.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know what? And maybe the shitty ones are more susceptible
right,
to it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You get
Especially
a
if
ticket a little easier.
Take a
Probably.
little pretty
Yeah,
easy to
cheaper.
get I don't know. I was gonna say usually I'd say Cleveland Browns, but they actually had a pretty good game week 1 there. But yeah. But anyway, so all right. So good conversation, and again, so me close it out by coming back to where we started. Much respect to everybody that showed up there in Denver. I know that like Just Win Wendy, she sends in her email tonight. She got a kind of a detailed breakdown of her trip out there, and so look forward to reading that. And so yeah, a lot of props to you guys for going out there and taking over in Denver. All right, I got one more bit of respect. And this is just kind of like a general thing. So Jeff and I, in our real day job, we sell like not like transactional sales, but we manage sales programs, right? And he and I'll never forget one of the days we were riding around the car together, working together, and we were talking about closing. And I told him about the scene in the movie Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah.
ABC, always be closing, right? Coffees for closers. And it's like the importance of being able to close out a game in the context of football or in our day jobs, closing a deal, right? Making something happen. It's been a long time since the silver and black I felt were closers. I don't think we had, at least we struggled with coaching staffs that were able to close out games. We had certain players that were unable to close out games, whether that was converting a third down late, whether that was getting a turnover late, getting off the field, whatever. There's multitude. This is not at one player or whatever. I mean, in all facets, we couldn't close out a damn football game. And here we are in week 1. And what was the thing that we all talked about with Jimmy Garoppolo was that he's a winner, right?
Right.
And what did he do? He was able to get us into a position to win the game. I've got it in my show notes. I'll see if I can find it. But while you guys were talking, I believe this is the first time since like...
I've got it right here.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, take off with it.
Josh Dubois sent a tweet out and said that the Raiders got the ball back with 5:08 left in the game, and they ran the clock out. That was the first time since he said at least 2000 that we've held on to the ball at the end of the game in a one-possession game.
2000?
Yeah.
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 It's been that long?
It's been that long.
I was thinking it was like 5 years or
20
something.
plus.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It said at least 2000.
Yeah.
So, we've needed a closer like that and an efficient drive. Yes, we were helped with some penalties and stuff like that. But those, and I'll get more into it as we kind of talk about the game itself. But yeah, that's been a long time since we've been able to do that, right?
Unbelievable. And check this out, Michelle. So here's another part of that. Last season alone, when we played the Rams and the Steelers, when the Raiders got the ball with less than 5 minutes left and leading by a score, but went 3 and out both games to give the opposing team a chance at a winning score.
There you go.
Like, didn't it just feel, when it was like, oh my gosh, like when it counted most, we got it done. And like, again, that hasn't been the Raiders story. I can't believe it's been that long, by the way. But even of recent history, like, it just never felt safe. It never felt like we could just like, have a long drive, convert a third down, get off the damn field and go home,
Yeah, 3 and out was like the Emma. Like it was like I have PTSD from just hearing 3 and out because it was such a significant portion of the last many years that we've had. And seeing Jimmy Garoppolo like run for that last first down to like seal the game. Like I was just like, yo, I don't remember the last time I saw a dog move, like to make we are winning this game. We're not just gonna tie. We're not, we're winning this game. And so seeing that
and not putting the defense out there and go, okay, go win it for us, go close it out for us,
right?
And instead of putting them in a position to be unsuccessful,
and saying,
instead
I got this.
It's just done.
There you go.
It's done. Let's get the hell out of here.
There you go. Well, you bring up the term closer, and a couple years ago, that game against the Chargers at the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
Josh Jacobs coined that he's the closer, and he kind of we kind of talked about that over the course of the last couple of years. Is that his nickname? Has he given himself his own nickname? Like that's pretty bold.
That's bold.
But all he's done is closed. And yes, he didn't have the electric game that everyone was kind of hoping that he was going to have week 1. I think he had like 50-something rushing yards or whatever. But when the game was on the line, the ball was not in his hands, but Josh Jacobs closed the game.
Oh, that block.
Yeah, he did. That block was
That block at the end of the game was massive. Massive.
Good call, dude.
Yeah.
That's true.
Good call. That's a closer movement. And I think
because that run wouldn't happen without that block.
No, the run
Like,
wouldn't
it just
happen without
wouldn't
that
happen.
block.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the last time that we had a closer was Khalil Mack. He's the last, and if those of you who listen to this show enough, I've said that multiple times. It's Khalil Mack, and it's kind of sad to see it's not sad because he's a Charger, but like his drop off has been massive. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but anyways, he was the guy. Like, he was the guy. Like, when we needed a play, he was the one to make it happen, and it's been an awful long time since we had that. So, anyways, good stuff there. So we appreciate the Raiders being closers, and hopefully we can, because that's all those one-score games we lost last year. That's why we lost them, because we couldn't freaking get off the field.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so hopefully, and you'll hear, we got a lot of comments from the guys here coming up, but that's one of the things that's a very common theme is that okay, look, these are the games that we're going to, because now we're in the same position as we were last year in games that we lost, and now that narrative is going to change. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump into, we got some new shit has come to light, Swag Jeff.
Absolutely.
Hey, this is Pete Koch, former Los Angeles Raider. Yeah, back in the old days, baby. And you're listening to Murph and Uncle Mosh, who happens to have the same hair as me. Check it out, Raiders Fan Radio.
Man, I've got certain information, all right? Certain things have come to light, and, given the nature of all this new shit, this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple,
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm blathering about. I've got information, man. New shit has come to light.
That's right. And that shit that's come to light is that we are freaking 1-0.
Let's go.
Let's freaking go, man. And it's insane. So just throw it on real quick we're going to jump into some of the notes about about the game, and also about we're going to hear, like I said, we're going to hear from a lot of the guys. We're going to hear from Josh McDaniels here to start off. I was joking with Valerie going into the weekend. I'm like, because the Lions had a pretty good shot, just as in terms of in the discussion, we knew how talented they were to go in and beat the Chiefs, right? And so then when they beat the Chiefs, and then I'm like, wow, okay, we're playing another member of the AFC West, and we play them very, very well. We know Miami is a heck of a football team. They could freaking take out the chart. And I was telling her, I'm like, there's a really good shot that we could be in first place after this is over. Now, I said that not believing a word that came out of my mouth, because the Raiders are going to Raider, right? So the idea that the stars have aligned for us, and yes, it's only week 1, and I'm not going to get all crazy in my feelings about things, but I will say this, even if it's just for the first week of the season, the idea, and a lot of people will tell you week 1 is a lie. And I'm a believer of that, because you got teams that get their ass kicked in week 1 and then end up making the playoffs. And then you got teams that, you know what I mean, that come out of the gate screaming and then freaking will fall short. So I get it. But that said, the idea that you tell me, Raider fan, what went wrong? Everything that you could point at, Tyree Wilson get off on the ball, or Hunter Renfro's lack of targets, or the penalties, or whatever. Those are nitpicky things, because right now your Las Vegas Raiders are 1-0, and no one else in our division is.
There you go.
So,
That's right.
it's hard for me to be mad. It's hard for me to again, and not to gloss over criticism, not to gloss over those things that can be improved. Of course they can be, and the coaching staff and the players will tell you that too. But as a fan, somebody, when I was on Silver and Black Today this last week, there was a couple of comments in there. They're like, man, Murph yells. Murph's loud. And I'm like, and Scott's like, he's excited. And I'm like, yes, despite the fact that I'm half Sicilian and growing up, he who is loudest wins for the most part. But aside from that, what the hell? I'm sorry. My favorite football team that freaking, I wear their colors every day, decorate my house, put their ink on my body. You know what I mean? Name my dog after. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm excited and fired up. So I don't get it, man. I don't get anybody that takes that negative thing. I don't understand it. And so anyways, I'm not going to let their yuck be, or my young be their yuck. Is that how the term goes? My young be your yuck.
Yeah.
Not Oh, yeah. I think
My
that's
yum
right.
be
Yeah.
their yuck,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Whatever it is.
Sure.
Whatever. You yuck your ass off.
F them,
But like,
yeah.
yeah. But you
Go
know what I
yuck
mean?
yourself.
That's right. That's right. Period.
Yuck you.
Yeah.
Yuck you.
Oh my gosh, we're so using that from now on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Swag Jeff, I mean, how can you not feel good?
Well, when you got a W on in the game, it's hard to argue. It's hard to nitpick because we won. Isn't that what Al Davis wanted us to do? Just win, baby.
Just
yeah,
win, right?
There's some things that need improvement. That's very clear, and it was very evident on Sunday. But we got the freaking win. I love what Ron said in the chat. He said right now Jimmy Garoppolo holds an all-time record for a 100% winning percentage as a quarterback for the Raiders. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, But my big takeaway from the game was that, in years past, we would have lost that game. That game would have been an L.
Oh, yeah. Last year.
A close game like that, a gritty game like that.
On the road.
A low-scoring game. Yeah, you got a couple of touchdowns and all that stuff. And then, the freaking Broncos come back and they score in the third. They take the lead. And, we have a couple drives. We're punting it back and forth and all that stuff. Kind of becomes a chess match kind of game. And they score to make it a 6-point game, and we're like, okay, here we go. This is just gonna. It is what it is.
You can see it coming.
You can see it coming a mile away, and then by God, Jimmy Garoppolo leads the charge, goes up, takes the lead by 1 point, and and then we get the ball, like what Josh Dubois said. We get the ball with 5 minutes and 8 seconds left. And we've got the lead, but at this point, all of us kind of have, we've all been triggered, right? We've all been there, and we've seen Raiders of past with the ball at 5:08 left in the game. And what do? We go 3 and out. We give them the ball, a la the LA Rams game. They go down and score a winning touchdown at the end of the game.
We commit a pass interference call to put them in field goal
there
range.
you go.
And then,
but what happens? The Raiders pull it out. We win the game. That's huge. It's a huge momentum statement. It's a huge statement for the leaders that they've got their guys. Respect to the coaching staff. I know it wasn't a perfectly called game, but by God, they got the job done. And like you said, what is there to bitch about?
Right, yeah.
We won the game, right?
Yeah, and I would like to just make note that we are on track for my 13-4 wins and losses. I just want to
absolutely
put that out there. We are on track. But
yeah,
also
but we're also on track for my 9 and 8.
Murph, take it back. Shut your mouth.
Shut your damn dirty mouth.
But I
Murph.
that I'm glad though that because it was the first game, so we're talking about the first games a lot. Like it, at least though, as we learned things we should and shouldn't do, or where maybe there's some strengths, is we did it with a win and not with a loss. So I think that is a plus for how things have gone in the past. They fought for this. Yeah, it was too close for my blood pressure. I was still, and I was just like you. I was like, oh, here we go. This is effing game's about to ruin my week, or at least a few days. But we didn't. We won.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
13-4. We're on track.
There we go. And so look, you're going to hear a lot about Jimmy Garoppolo tonight. You're going to,
and why shouldn't we?
And why shouldn't we? And so there's, look, most prominent position in all of team sports, and this guy freaking won our game. And here's just. And there's so many stats, and I've got a handful of them as we'll go through the course of the night. I won't blast you guys with a million stats all at once, but here's one of the ones that really jumped out at me. Because it's what do you do when it counts most? And I'm not going to make this about anything else other than just Jimmy Garoppolo. But what does he do when it counts most? Not what does he do total stats? What does he do career-wise? What does he do between the 20s? What does he do when it counts most?
Yep.
Since his first full season as a starter in 2019, there are only 2 quarterbacks with a better passer rating than Jimmy Garoppolo when trailing by 4 to 8 points in the fourth quarter. 2 in all of football. So Jimmy Garoppolo's passer rating is 127.9.
Beautiful.
When down 4 to 8 points.
Oof.
You guys want to guess? One of them is retired, and then the other one is still active in the NFL for the 2 quarterbacks that have a better passer rating when they get the ball down 4 to 8 points in the fourth quarter.
You got a guess, or you want me to name them both?
Name them both.
Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes.
That's a good guess.
Okay.
Very good guess. So Patrick Mahomes is number 2.
Okay.
He's got a 128.4 rating. The number 1 might surprise you.
Was it
It's
like Matt Ryan or
Drew
something like that?
Brees.
Oh,
Since 2019. Oh, I guess he still was
Yeah.
playing then, huh?
His rating is 147.5.
Holy shit.
Real near perfect. Yeah, pretty awesome. But anyways,
Dang.
that's the kind of company that Jimmy Garoppolo is in. Just like when we talk about Josh Jacobs, and every time like I read off a stat or a list that Josh Jacobs is on, it's like he's on there with Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton and like some of the greatest of all time. Well, there you go. We already got our first Jimmy Garoppolo stat.
Jimmy's a winner.
He's a freaking winner,
He's a
Michelle.
winner.
Unbelievable. It's so good. So, all right. Anyways,
And why did that 8-yard run at the end of the game remind me of Kenny Stabler?
because that's a Kenny Stabler
That was
ass
a
thing
Kenny
to do.
Stabler
Gonna
thing
make
to
it
do,
happen.
man. You know, yeah, he's not a scrambler. He's not a, he's not a guy that's going to do that. But he did what he had to do to win the football game, and that's what Jimmy G does. He
That's the shit
wins.
Mahomes does, frankly.
yeah.
Puts you in a position
You know what I mean?
to
Yeah.
win a football game.
That's it. That's
And
it.
shout out to the offensive line for
Holding
keeping
up.
him up.
All six of them that we were
Right,
running
yeah.
through a lot of the game. You know
Well,
what I mean?
listen,
sacks.
well, with his health and injuries and stuff being an issue, that makes sense. Put as many
Hey.
people to protect him as possible.
Why not?
If he's gonna win, let him.
There you go.
Do his thing.
Why not? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there were some folks that said like, oh well, why are the Raiders running 6 offensive linemen out there? I guess just 5 are not good enough. Like, listen, I'm gonna tell you this. They made an incredible adjustment. They identified a way that they could be strong in that with that offensive line. Shout out Carmen Brasillo. He's doing, I think that's one of the most underrated position hires we've made is bringing in Carmen Brasillo. He's coaching these boys up.
Yep.
And you know what? Why is that a negative? Like, to me, I'm like, okay, they identified a thing they could take advantage of. Win the game.
Yeah.
Like, so
And that's what I'm saying,
it's
man.
not like, what would you rather do? March out 5 and see Jimmy get blasted and get hurt?
Absolutely,
Like if you
man.
can win with using 6 a lot of times, who cares? Who
I
gives
think
a
people
shit?
have forgotten what just win, baby means. It doesn't denote how to win. You just win. Who cares how you get it done?
Who cares?
Send
There you
however
go.
many damn people out there you need to protect him for him to get the job done. Just win, baby. That's it.
That's
Period.
it. The end.
The end.
I'm with you. And when you look at where Josh McDaniels came from, right? Everybody hates when we talk about the Patriots, but listen, it's just the history of it, and we got to consider it because it's the present of the
Right.
Raiders. When you look at Josh McDaniels' offenses in New England, they beat you different every single week. They beat you with 2 tight ends. Sometimes
you
they
go.
beat you in the running game. Sometimes they beat you in the passing game. Sometimes they beat you with, Kevin Falk and not Corey Dillon or whatever. You know what I mean? Like what was that guy? What Rex Burkhead?
There
Like,
you
they were
go.
just, like all of a sudden you're like, why does Rex Burkhead have 2 touchdowns and ran for 75 yards in this game
Right.
when he hasn't had a carry all year? Well,
Right.
because they identified something that guy did well, and so they took advantage of that matchup.
Exactly.
It's the same folks that are being critical of them not getting Hunter Renfrow involved.
Yes.
Okay. No,
Yes.
100%.
Well, and here's what I'll say on that. Like, I'll wait to judge that once we're 4 or 5 games in. Maybe Hunter wasn't a good matchup for this defense, so they didn't feature him. The other part of that could be maybe Hunter wasn't getting open. We don't know. I'm not a film guy. I'm not going to pretend to be. But until you define the context, just because he didn't have any targets doesn't mean it was a failure in coaching. It
you
means
go.
that they didn't need to, or they didn't think that was going to be a favorable matchup. Because again, just like the Patriots, you would go 1 week where freaking, I don't know, Julian Edelman would only have like a catch or 2. But then the next week he'd have
12.
15
Yeah.
for 200 yards. You know what I mean?
There you go.
They will beat you different ways. They will beat you inside or beat you outside. They will beat you the running game or beat you with tight ends. Like,
Right.
we don't know what our game plan is going to be week to week, and that's a good thing, Raider
That's
Nation.
a beautiful
Yeah.
thing, man. And I love that you brought up Hunter Renfrow because I've been all over the X this week and post Sunday's game, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do with Renfrow? Oh, they're gonna trade him. Oh, they're gonna trade. He's terrible. Oh, McDaniels just doesn't know how to use this guy. I mean, we're gonna get a fresh Hunter Renfrow like in a week or 2. Like, like this is a positive thing. If we can win and not throw to one of the best slot receivers in the NFL, like that's freaking badass.
And you think he
Like,
cares?
And it was one game.
There you go.
Like you said, you'll wait and see and make the decision. Like, okay, 4 games down.
How about we sleep on Hunter Renfrow?
Yeah.
How about NFL?
Yeah.
How about we sleep on number 13 and see the GOAT go to work the following week?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And yeah, Raider Cam makes a great point in there. It's possible Hunter's routes opened up space for Tay and Jakobi as well. Absolutely.
There you go.
Well, and Jakobi was hot, so why not?
He had the
keep
hot hand.
tagging him?
Hot
Yeah.
hand. And respect Raider Cam.
Absolutely.
I love that guy.
He's great. He's great on the X there. And so we appreciate you, Raider Cam. All right, so I'm going to do these in reverse order because we're talking about Jakobi. And so, and first off, can I just say this? I like the name Jakobi, and I like how he spells it.
Oh.
Like, a lot of times I'm not a fan of, like, doing crazy spellings of names or that are not conventional.
Sure.
But I like his name. That's a cool name,
It
Jakobi.
is.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
you love that shit.
I love that shit. That's cool, man.
I put that shit on
Because it's like Jack. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
It's like what?
It's like Jack, like J-A-K, because it's J-A-K-O-B-I.
Oh.
So it's like Jack Myers. And then you got like Jacorian Bennett. It's like Jack Bennett. Like, I kind of like that.
Okay. Well, you know, his nickname on the team, everyone calls him Cobes.
Cobes? Is that the nickname? Oh,
Yeah,
right on.
that's
Right
Cobes,
on.
yeah.
Cobes. All right, so let's check in with Josh McDaniels.
Riveting conversation.
I know, right? Yeah.
Tune in, guys.
So, and hey, real quick, too, let me just say this real fast. F Sean Payton. Like,
F him.
A lot.
Oh, bro.
Okay?
No, literally,
like,
yeah.
When they had the whole saint or head, what they call it?
Head
it was
hunting?
Bounty?
Bounty gate.
When they had the whole Bounty Gate thing, when he was in New Orleans, 95% of that got planned on Greg Williams. Remember the defensive coordinator, who's also defensive coordinator for the Titans and others as well. He's the one that got that blame got pinned on. You can't tell me after this game that Sean Payton didn't have a way bigger role in that, and F him a bunch for that dirty ass shit. Now listen, we're Raider fans. We're not above, you know what I mean, playing outside the whistle a little bit. And I mean, for crying out loud, like, we invented roughing the quarterback with Ben Davidson and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not like, you know, this isn't the pot calling kettle black here. But what I'm going to say is this. In today's NFL, when you have the Raiders used to do that back within the rules.
Right.
That was it. They actually changed the rules to accommodate or to prevent what the Raiders were doing. At that time, we were operating within the existing rule set of the NFL. This shit is way outside of that. Diving in towards quarterbacks' heads, taking shots at Jakobi Meyers multiple times. That is some weak-ass shit. And if he doesn't get held accountable for that by the NFL, F the NFL as well, because that was ridiculous. And again, I'm not talking about, like, playing past a whistle, taking an extra step. I love that Max Crosby, every time he's at Russell Wilson's face, he pops him an extra time. I'm not talking about stuff like that, but I'm talking about when you're targeting the head in today's NFL, when we know how vulnerable the head is, and the NFL literally has made such a campaign and a crusade to prevent against head injuries, and you're going to let that shit go on Sunday? F all the way. Yuck you all the way off. Like, that is
and ever.
Bananas. Like, unbelievable that he got away with that.
Hey, before you play that clip, I just want to give much respect to Stacy Ruff, who says Jakobi won Kenobi.
Oh, that's so
good. That's legit. I love it.
That's so badass.
Love it.
that.
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, so let's check in on Jakobi one. Wait, no, how can I say Jakobi one Kenobi? All right, let's check in on Josh McDaniels talking about Jakobi.
May not be as familiar with Jakobi Meyers as maybe other fans are, but I feel like they got a good glimpse of what Jakobi Meyers is all about.
Yeah, I mean, he's a football player.
Right play. Play clock is plenty of time left. He'll take the snap, looking left, throwing left, passes complete left. Jakobi Meyers in his first year with the Raiders. White, Garoppolo throws to the near sideline, passes complete to Jakobi Meyers.
Can go inside and make plays inside, and he's got good size and, you know, can make some things happen on third down or in the red zone, but always comes up big in big games.
Garoppolo looking to throw again. Slant, complete. Jakobi Meyers, touchdown Raiders.
And today was no different.
All right, so there we go. There's Josh McDaniels. So, Michelle, I would venture to say this might be the most underrated free agent signing that the Raiders have made, not only this season, obviously, but probably in recent history. Like, I knew he was pretty good. I knew he's a wide receiver one, but if already this is the kind of production we're going to get out of him, like an ability to kind of take over a little bit, and like, that was pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, and you know, with all the people that are like, oh, McDaniels bringing his guys in, for this reason, because he was able to immediately be effective in the system. So, yeah, seeing him, it's so sad for that to have been the end of that game after him having such an incredible game. And it's like, oh, man, I hate that that's how it had to end, you know, and him being in the concussion, that can last whoever knows how long. But man, like just seeing him just continually being where he needed to be and being there for Garoppolo, like, man, that's so exciting.
That was so exciting. Yeah, absolutely. And chat room, let us know. I haven't seen any updates yet. About how he's doing, and I hadn't heard anything bad, so I'm going to assume he's going to be good to go for week 2 in Buffalo. But let us know, chat room. Let us know if there's any updates coming out on that. All right. So next up, we've got Josh McDaniels in the locker room. This is awesome, man. Of course, winning cures everything, and everything is always fun when you win. But let's check in with Josh McDaniels, and I love to hear the passion. These post-game speeches are fantastic. I mean, anybody that's ever played a team sport and you've been part of that locker room, like after a game and like all that, it's so awesome to, you know what I mean? You get those fiery speeches, and but I hear a little bit of a different tone. Not only is the language, which they take the sound out, so you can tell when the sound dips. It's good. I know, right?
Yep.
It's language, but like, I don't know, like I feel like there's a different, for a guy like Josh McDaniels, who's, a Belichick 2.0 typically in delivery, it sounds pretty feisty. I love it.
I love it too.
Congratulations. Now listen to me, all right, because this is different, okay? This is different. Do we have some adversity today?
Yes, sir.
Yep. We had 3 personal fouls. We rough a punter, right? Which we were playing hard, right? We didn't necessarily do everything we wanted to do. We had a turnover in the red zone, all right? But we persevered.
Yes, sir.
Now listen to me. I'm really proud of the effort. I'm really proud of the maturity, all right, that we showed, okay? Because again, there was some things that weren't going our way. All right, we handled them with class. We handled them with dignity. And fellas, you persevered, so we won in the fourth quarter.
Yes, sir.
All right, and we won in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's the way to compete for 4 quarters, fellas. That's what we've been talking about. That's what it took to win. All right? All right, break it down. Break it down.
Hey, like you said, man. Hey, it's just one, but it's the first of many, man. Get used to this. Man, keep working, stay together. Let's go. Gang on me, gang on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, man, I love it, man. I love it.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Well, and talk about that, Jeff, because, we've already kind of touched on it tonight already, but you hear that in McDaniels, we won in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like, huge, man.
Yeah.
Huge for the momentum and the spirit of this football team.
Yeah, well, he couldn't say that a whole lot last year. I mean, that may have been something that was in his arsenal for a while, but he couldn't say it because it didn't happen. You know what I mean? But like I said earlier in the show, and like we talking about all off season, this team just feels different. Something in the air just feels different. The confidence from top to bottom. Of course, a guy like Max Crosby that we heard right at the end of that video right there.
I love his breakdown too.
Oh, it's amazing.
Gang on me, gang on 3. I love that.
It's unbelievable. But we didn't see that fire out of Coach last year. We really didn't. And it
didn't
even
see it out of a lot of people.
No, you didn't see it out of a lot of people. And you know what? And I'll just say it, man. One of the criticisms that we had last year, even after our first win against Houston last year, that we should have been fired up. Yeah, it was a win against Houston. Houston was ass and all that kind of stuff. But like the breakdown from the other leader of the team last year, the war number 4, it was like, hey, good win. Raiders on 3, 1, 2, 3 win. Yeah. But like it was kind of like shitty, man. Like it was like it wasn't very good. And so you see McDaniels with the fire. You see the post game from the field. The Raiders, media team is out there filming Jimmy Garoppolo dropping F-bombs, fired up, ready to go, dabbing it up with Tay. Like, I mean, that's awesome, and that's what you want, man. And this team is just oozing with confidence right now, and I love it, right?
Yeah, and it feels like a lot of the sound bites that I've heard and a lot of the things that I've heard, there are so many subliminal messages that almost sound like, damn, we're glad that we dropped a weight. Like, and I know listen, this is going to happen this season, guys. We're going to talk about the previous. I mean, we have 8 or 9 years of.
It's hard not
to weed through.
Even as much as I planted my flag on not bringing it up, it's hard not to.
17 points is more than 16 points. I mean, if you know, you know.
You have to compare. There's a compare. No, you're right. Yeah, and I think that all of them, or I can't speak for all of them, but every soundbite I've heard, there's been a little bit of a subliminal like, this team's different.
Yes,
this team is different. We're here to win. And I think there's a point where you can be such a humble person that you don't have a fire for people to catch fire with.
Ooh,
and I think
nice.
that,
Nice,
I really
Good
think
call, Michelle.
sometimes you got to, drop a couple of, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be cuss. I'm not talking about just cussing. I'm just saying,
Right.
there's a fire.
Don't cuss like a kid. Don't just say
that's
bad words to say bad words.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think that there's a point where everyone's tagged on to that.
I'm with you. And so speaking of that, and so the chat room called it out real quick. Jimmy G, dropping some language as he walks off the field. Let's check in with our quarterback as he walks off after defeating the Broncos.
Fuck yeah, man. 1-0, baby. Let's go.
It's my brother.
Come on, boy. 7. Yeah. God, it wasn't pretty. We got it done pretty enough. Every win is pretty.
That's right.
Yes, sir. That's how we did something right there.
God damn.
It ain't got to be
that one.
You just got to get it done.
Missed that one.
You just got to get it done.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's like I love. You can't when you play the sound bite. It sounds like the sound. Well, it is cutting in and out, but like maybe there's something wrong with it.
Everybody.
No, it's because they're all dropping F-bombs and they're fired up and like I love that, man. And and we're gonna get exactly what the point you made, Michelle, about like there's a different tone in speaking about the quarterback nowadays. And so let's go ahead and jump into it. First off, let's hear from him. Let's hear from Jimmy G post game and what he had to say there in the locker room.
This team found a way to win when they weren't playing their best, and that's what good teams do. How proud are you of your team?
Really proud. I thought a lot of guys stepped up today. Like you said, it wasn't pretty, it wasn't perfect by any means, but I mean, it's a division game. We know it's going to be tough, and guys just stuck with it for 60 minutes. We knew it was going to be one of those games, and it was cool.
When they brought you out after that hit, I mean, that was just to check you, but everything was good. I'm just curious, does that just piss you? I mean, I've never seen that look on your face like you had there.
Yeah, I was pretty upset. Well, just because we were driving. I mean, we were off to a good start, and I didn't feel like I needed to come out, but that's the NFL rule, so it is what it is, I guess.
What was your feeling at the end of the run that clinched the game?
It was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, just everything came together. Thought guys really stepped up in those big moments today. I mean, Jakobi making that huge first down for us, getting the penalty, O-line block great today. It was all those little things coming together.
It seemed like you and Jakobi were really in sync today. How early on did you guys establish that?
This team.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, that one cut off a little bit early there. But anyways, good to hear from Jimmy G. I love it. His ability to close out that game. I mean, we won't stop harping on that. And that's what the guys they refer to as he's their dog.
Well, and I'm glad you said that, man, because so Mo Moten, our good friend Midtown Mo on the X on Twitter, he posted a thing and said, like, I hate that term because it's now so loosely thrown around. Everyone's a dog.
But everyone's a goat now too.
Yeah, everyone's the goat.
People
Everyone's got that dog.
Yeah.
But Jimmy's a freaking dog, man.
He's a dog.
Like, he's a dog, man. Like, he gets his team fired up. He's pumped up. He's willing to do what it takes to win the football game. Like, I mean, what more do you want? Like, what a freaking drink of fresh water, man. Like, what a breath of fresh air, man. Like, this is so freaking good.
I'm with you. And normally I'm pretty much in lockstep with Mo's opinion, but I'm not with him on that one. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's not yes, it's an overused term, but not in this case.
Not in this case.
Not in this case. And if listen, you ain't got to believe me, but let's check in and listen to Max, to Josh Jacobs, and to Devontae. I mean, when you think about the leaders of the Las Vegas Raiders, it's these three guys.
Right.
It's Max, it's Josh, it's Devontae, and listen to their opinion about Jimmy G. So I'm going to trust their opinion a lot more than I'm going to trust mine.
And he's a dog. Any quarterback that's willing to take a hit in the big moment to secure the win got my respect.
We see it every single day, and he's a dog. He in the big moments he stepped up, and it goes vice versa. The defense, when we needed to stop, we stepped up. So that's how you win football games. It's got to be complimentary football. We all got to believe in the guy next to us, and like I said, Jimmy's a dog. So I'm super excited for him. I'm happy he's my quarterback.
Jimmy's a gamer, man. I mean, I'm not gonna put any added extra unnecessary pressure on him, but I mean, that's the type of guy that we've seen. On different on the other side of the conference and I mean it's fun going out there playing with him. The way he commanded the huddle today, just his cool, his poise. I mean, he threw some dots. He hit Kobe over the middle with some guys in his face, showing that type of toughness and resolve after going and throwing a pick in a situation where we obviously need points. That's what you need from one of your leaders.
All right, here we go, man. So good stuff there from the guys. And, the locker room is humming.
Yep.
The team's success on the field is showing, all the things that we were hoping for so far. So good, right?
There you go.
And so it all came together, and we won a close game. We talked about this a little bit ago that, we were losing these games last year. We were losing these games over the past handful of years. This isn't just, this last season. But let's listen to Devontae Adams and Max talk about winning these close games.
A couple of the guys we just talked about that this type of game was the difference in our season last year. Just finishing these, and they say you trash when you don't. We have about 9 of them or something like that, and didn't finish them out on the right side. And we finish these, and then they talk a lot different about you. Regardless of what it took to get there. If it was ugly or not. So at the end of the day, it's about winning, and we obviously want to win prettier than what we did today. But at the same time, it's complementary football, and we got to play well together as a team to get it done, and we did it just good enough.
In the National Football League, like I said, it's not easy to win. Last year we had a lot of close losses. The year before that we had a lot of close wins. So for us, we have a whole new team. We've got a lot of new guys, and we stuck together and got a win on the road against a divisional opponent. So it's huge for us.
Hey Raider Nation, this is Max Crosby from the Oakland Raiders.
And goes down, and Max Crosby, who forced a fumble last week.
You're listening to Murph, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Thank you so much. Just win, baby.
You're listening to The Violator, and I'm live on Raider Fan Radio. Where you at, baby?
All right, appreciate everybody that's joining us live tonight on the YouTubes at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Swag Jeff, who do we got in the chat room tonight?
Oh my gosh, we got Paul is in there. Matthew Mengus, DJ Lenny Danger, Elon Bush, Pineapple, Hoffy. Let's see. Wyoming Raider, Michelle, Ty Davis, Rogue Code, Anthony Provencio, Foxy Scorpio, Vegas Raider Pete. Just Win Wendy, Hooligan Nation. Let's see, Dave Falter.
Raider Worm, Big Worm.
Big Worm
Jay
is
Jackson.
in there. Jay Jackson.
Oh, I love this guy's name, Gelato Boy.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That was my name. That was my nickname in high school. T3 Sports Guy. That's our buddy T-Hom. Super Deuce, Jason 6, Rick Raida's in there. Man, we got the whole crew, bro.
That's awesome. We appreciate you all so very, very much for joining us here on episode number 298 of Raiders Fan Radio. As the Raiders start off with the hot start. 1-0. All right, so we can be excited about them. Obviously, everybody in the chat room is excited about it. Joe McMillan just jumped in there. Frankie Mosqueda is in there. We appreciate you all so very, very much. But, listen, when you've got 2002 MVP Super Bowl starting quarterback for your Oakland Raiders, excited about the team. That really
maybe our last closer at the quarterback.
Hot take, Swag Jeff.
It ain't that hot.
Let's check in with Rich and see what Rich Gannon has to say about the Raiders.
I think the Raiders have to feel pretty good about what they saw from their defense. Remember, the thorn in the side of the Raiders the last couple of years has been the play of their defense. Have a difficult time getting around the quarterback and getting sacks, and they have a difficult time getting their hands on footballs and taking the ball away defensively. Overall, I thought the defense played really well. They held the Broncos to 16 points, only 260 yards of offense, did a nice job getting off the field on third down. I thought they had a lot more competitive snaps. I think it's something to build on for the Raiders heading into week 2.
All right, Swag Jeff. So this is interesting. So Gannon there goes on and kind of professes about how improved the defense was already.
Sure.
We're going to get into Baldy's breakdown on Max Crosby here in a minute. Clearly, Max is that's the playmaker. That's
the lifeblood.
He's the dominant guy on our defense.
Yep.
But I want to give respect to some other guys.
Sure, do it.
And there was a lot of criticism on Tyree Wilson, right?
Sure.
About his lack of get off. And when you look at him and Max on the same snap, and you look and you see that Max is already across the line of scrimmage before Tyree Wilson is even coming out of his stance.
Moving, yeah.
He's still a young man, first game ever, coming off an injury, didn't have any camp. And what's the number one thing that players and coaches will tell you? the hardest thing for young players is to get acclimated to NFL speed.
Truth.
Even when you play in the SEC, and of course Tyree Wilson was at Texas Tech, so he was in the SEC, but like the point being though, it's going to take time for him to get acclimated to that speed. Now, if he doesn't, again, not going off of one game, if we go off of multiple games, if he doesn't, then I think that there's room in there to be critical. But I don't think it's entirely fair at this point. Same thing with Ja'Cory Bennett. I know he gave up some plays. I know he had that big pass interference call.
I love it.
He played physical as hell.
Yep.
When you look
That's what you want, right?
When you look at our corners now, even just when you look at Nate Hobbs alone, Nate Hobbs and Ja'Cory Bennett, they were physical. They were all over the field, man.
Yep.
And another guy, Trayvon Merrick, got a bad rap. Except that, that he's the one that stopped that third down play to keep the freaking Broncos from extending that drive. Like
I couldn't agree more.
Like I think that at times we as fans, like we want to see the highlights and I don't get me wrong, like I want to see highlights too. I want to see turnovers. I want to see all that stuff too. But let's not gloss over the plays that get made when they have to. Again, great players aren't always great, but they're always great when they have to be. So let's give these guys some credit for making plays when they absolutely had to. Right. And that's what led to these successes on defense.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I mean, to Tyree Wilson right there, he played 12 snaps in the preseason. He did not get a whole lot of reps. He hadn't been on the field for a game that counted since November. Give the guy a little bit, you see the raw power. You see the talent there. So now we just need to craft it a little bit. And I think we're going to, but I love that you brought up some of those other players, and I saw a lot of people on the Twitter, and maybe even our good friend Mo Moten said something. One of the guys on Silver and Black today said something about the tackle.
One of the guys, so it's either Scott or Mo.
Yeah, it's one of those guys. And one of those guys.
If it's not Mo, it is one of those other guys.
It's not one, it's the other. But they kind of called out that like maybe there was some poor tackling in the game. And I want to push back really hard on that because, you see a guy like Nate Hobbs leads the team in tackles for the day.
He looks so good.
He looked so freaking good.
Yeah.
Nate Hobbs in the slot is elite, bro.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he had a couple of tackles for loss, but you see a guy like,
your boy Mickey Spillane.
Mickey Spillane had a couple good stops in the backfield. Divine Diablo had a couple good stops.
Diablo. That was the other guy I wanted to call out.
Divine Diablo with a diving pass breakup right there in the red zone that forced a field goal. You love to see it, and Trayvon Merrick that had an ass game, kind of for the most part, but when it counted, that
was a one-on-one in the open field. That could have gone way wrong.
An open field tackle. It was much respect to him, and I feel like we saw that kind of all game. That we were able to stop drives from continuing because we had some open field tackles. Where in years past, you see Trayvon Merrick come up on a running back, and you're like, oh shit, here comes another 20 yards coming. Yeah. But he got the stop, man. This defense, yes, there are a lot of holes still. The linebacking core in its entirety is underwhelming. The secondary had its moments. Even a guy like Marcus Peters, who we were so fired up about, and I'm still super fired up about him. He kind of had, just an
some
average.
plays he'd want back. Yeah,
absolutely, man. But this defense, man, I'm still kind of fired up for him.
Yeah.
Man.
Michelle Gladiator Raider in there says we did tackle better, but there's still room for improvement.
Of course.
Here's where I'm going with it, and I think where you're going with this too. They're like this. The physicality is there, the attitude is there, the commitment clearly is there. They will get better, right? This defense will probably improve. What's the word I'm like? Incrementally, week to week here, yeah?
Yeah, and I think it's easy to kind of shit on the secondary, but when there's not getting that up, I feel like there could have been so much more pressure. But I know I heard you talking about Wilson, but he also got pushed into a position that he wasn't.
That's true.
That's
a great
he wasn't
point.
maybe not
they weren't
to
planning
the
on
point.
having him going. Yeah.
So he's probably got a lot, of steps to pick up that clearly, but I think he's going to get there, and I think. Like I said earlier, we won and got to learn a few things in the process. They now know that blah, blah, blah needs to happen or he needs to do this. And,
sure.
And they still won the game. I do think as we go, it's going to get so much better. I mean, and what did they hold them to 3 points in the second half? Like,
well, and that's what Rick Raider in there says. The fourth quarter belonged to the Raiders.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
come on,
the most important one, man. You know, and I want to also give respect someone that we really haven't talked about a whole lot, and maybe is underrated as far as defensive MVPs of the game, but freaking Malcolm Kuntz.
Oh,
Malcolm Kuntz was freaking badass in that
he had a good game,
He
man.
really stepped up. Went into that role just like Tyree Wilson did with the unfortunate banana shit that's happening with Chandler Jones, but Malcolm Kuntz got the assist on that Max Crosby sack, and maybe even the Tillery sack as well, because he was coming around the edge too. So look for 51, to repping Will Compton, OG Will Compton, I'm looking for big things for him in the coming weeks.
Well, and it felt like too, that they made those halftime, like those adjustments that you expect. Because I remember at the beginning of the game, because I was at my art show, but I was watching and listening. And I was just like, oh, here we go. Same defense. I kind of had that feeling, that same old sadness. And then, came out second half and they showed out and did the job that needed to be done to get the win. And I think that's just going to get better from this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, it's a good thing that the Raiders don't retire numbers. Otherwise, Malcolm Kuntz couldn't have number 51.
I know, right? We'd all just have a blank jersey because of all the legends that we got.
Yeah, but no, you'd be hanging Compton from the rafters.
Oh, for sure. 1,000%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's hanging up here in Murph.
Those 9 games in 2019, dude, baller. Speaking of dogs,
absolute dog. Absolute dog.
All right, actually, but no, and you are a dog, Will. We love you. But speaking of guys that are still doing it on the field, Max Crosby, man, and so. Dude, I gotta tell you. So I know that overall, there's, Max. I don't want to say he disappeared because he never disappears. But there was one series in particular that we're gonna hear Brian Baldinger go over this series. When Scott asked me on the Silver and Black Today show who my game ball went to on defense, I picked Max Crosby because of this series alone. Was he the most impactful player on defense for the entirety of the game? I don't know. That's questionable. But in this series, changed. So much of this game, and when you're that good and you can take over 3 plays in a row, man, that was freaking awesome to watch. So let's check in with Baldy as he talks about Max Crosby.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, plays the game like Max Crosby. Nobody. Nobody defeats blocks, refuses to stay blocked. Tight ends can hold them. They can chip them. They can bump them. Everybody's on the ground here except Max Crosby. The Condor refuses to go down. The Condor stays up. He's always flying. He never stops coming. He's relentless until the play is over. And then he'll go and roll and have some fun and go, nope, not on my dime. Not when I'm on the field.
Oh, wait, maybe that was the wrong one. Oh well. Sorry, guys.
Still a great clip.
I had a different one about Max Crosby. But you know what? That 3-play series I'm talking about, Michelle. So he creates the holding. Right, because he beats the right tackle so bad that there's a hold on the play. Then the next play, him and whoever else it was got in on the sack.
Yep.
And then the third one, he flushed the guy out. And then, what was it for an incompletion? Whatever it was, but there was a series in there where it was Max, all 3. And it was
and it wound up being 3rd and 34 or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, he took over that series, and that was a big change because I feel like the Broncos might have even been in scoring position at that point.
Oh, yes. They were in field goal.
Is that what it was? Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
We knocked them back, and then they had to punt.
Yep.
Just a game-changing moment, for him for sure.
Yeah, no, and I think you said you don't know if he was. I think Max Crosby, when he's on the field, he is always the most important because he's the one that set the bar for everybody to get to the level that he's at because his motor never stops. So anyone that's on the team with him is trying to get to that point, but also the opposing team he's here. He's in their head.
Right.
He knows that they're there. So I think he's always the most important one on the field because he set that bar.
Absolutely. That's a great point, setting that example and his work ethic and his motor. The guy does not stop. He looks the same in the fourth quarter as he does in the first.
It's unreal.
There's no change.
I think they said I was watching the game day post game thing that the Raiders official read with James James Jones and Eric Allen.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah,
all
yeah,
that stuff.
uh-huh.
I was watching that, and they interviewed him post game. And I think he said he took like one play off for the entire game.
He played 63 of 64 snaps.
Yeah. I mean, like,
unbelievable.
holy cow, man. And yeah, like you said, was just as fast on play 64 as he was on one. Like, I mean, you know, and if that catches fire and some other people on defense, I mean, because you see the offensive side, I mean, he's just contagious all around. On every side of the ball. I mean, if you're hanging out with Max, he's going to want you to play harder.
That's right.
And
so you're going to want to play harder
and you're going to
for
want
him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Truth.
Yeah.
Truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff there, guys. All right, so let's talk a little bit about we'll go ahead and hit a break, and then let's talk a little bit about what we're going to look for in this next week.
What's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Will Compton.
Will to just
You're
say
listening
Michelle.
to Raiders Fan Radio
We can plug
with my
Michelle.
boys
Just-
Murph,
that's all I gotta say.
Swaggy
We're going to get him to
Jeff,
cut a whole new one.
and Uncle Mosh.
Absolutely.
Tune in.
Just giving
because
respect
they
to you.
put out a banger podcast.
Yeah.
It'd be more fun if
You're
it was
listening to Michelle.
Yeah, you're listening to Michelle.
Michelle.
And these two knuckleheads. Hi.
This is AJ Cole from the Las Vegas Raiders, and you're listening to Murph, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Just win, baby.
Couldn't have said it better, AJ.
How about AJ with the big boomer out there, too, man?
Yeah.
This guy's legit, man.
He's a dog.
Our kicking game is Daniel Carlson, man. Our kicking game is on fire. I love it.
Yeah.
Our kicking game is killer.
Love it.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about next week. Now we're not going to sit here and try to break down the game and all that.
Right.
I'll tell you, as a fan, let's just throw it around real quick.
Okay.
As a fan, in seeing what happened to Buffalo in week one, you know, like I've said this here a lot lately, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
That's right.
Like, I think that the Raiders have a good chance to win this game. It's not going to be cold outside. Now, there's a version of the Bills.
Can I stop you right there?
Please.
We have a different quarterback.
Cold weather games don't matter anymore.
That's right.
Okay.
Cold weather games don't matter anymore. We got a guy that's been very successful in cold weather.
All right, fair enough. But let's also say it like this, though, too. That, like, Buffalo in the snow or in the cold is tough to play no matter who you are. So not even in contrasting the guy that used to play quarterback for us. I'm just talking about in general. You don't want to play in Buffalo in December. You don't want to play in Lambeau in December. You don't want to play in Chicago in December. You want to play it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a MetLife. Like, there's a lot of places where it's miserable out there on the field, okay? And Buffalo might be the miserablest when it comes to freaking, right? You know what I mean? When they get all that freaking lake effect snow and all that crap that they get. They get it's lake effect, right? Or do they just get snow?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They're about to catch some L's.
Somebody in the chat room.
Though, that's all I know.
Because I know like Chicago gets lake effect snow, but I don't. But does Buffalo might, right? They're on a big.
It just
lake.
doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter.
Just
I don't
doesn't
know. Yeah, they're on a lake. Shout out geography.
Look it up.
So
we can't tell you everything.
Shout out the globe.
Okay, yeah, he says, Yoshi says, I get lake effect snow. Well, Yoshi, are you in Buffalo?
Yoshi. Oh.
Okay, Raider Cam, who is in Buffalo, I know, says, yes, we get lake effect snow every winter off Lake Erie. Okay, that's what I thought.
Well, there you go.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, yes. Uh-oh.
Thank you, Raider Cam. Raider Cam was the guy that sent us the picture. He sent us the pictures of when Buffalo had that snowstorm last year.
Yes.
And it's like 12 feet of snow or whatever. That was crazy. That was crazy. So, anyways, appreciate you. And Corey Fleck just says, it snows.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you, Corey.
All right. So, all that said, I feel pretty good about the idea that we could take out the Bills. I think that, yes, I know that they have a good defense. Yes, they have Josh Allen, but clearly they can have an off night. And here's where I think that we're going to be able to win this game. I'm hoping, and this is my fan theory, the Raiders are going to have a theme to this season in that we're not going to make a ton of mistakes. Are we going to go out there and light up scoreboards and pass for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns and all that? Are we going to have that kind of an offense? I don't think so. But I think that if we can play mistake-free enough, and we played with a lot of mistakes on defense this last week. We heard Josh McDaniels talk about shout out freaking Luke Masterson on the punt coverage there. That was a little rough, right? Like, so,
That's
you know,
rough.
Marcus Peters, I think that was a
Big
little bit
time
bad on that holding. Was it defensive holding or pass interference that he got, whatever?
Illegal contact. Because
Illegal
he was-
contact.
when
Russ was running.
out
Out of the
He was out of the
pocket,
pocket. It
yeah.
shouldn't count. But anyways, like there are plays defensively that we would have wanted back. But it's week one. I think that if we can play mistake-free enough, we're going to be annoying as hell to teams this year. And what I mean by that is that we're going to do enough offensively to keep up, and we're going to not make a lot of mistakes to put you in a position to take advantage of us. And that's what we've done a lot in the past, is that the timeliness of errors was the worst. It couldn't have been worse. You know what I mean? Driving for a game-winning or tying score, or to even get it back within 3 or whatever, and that's when we'd have an interception. Or, you know, they've got the ball in their own territory. It's 3rd and 20, and we give up a 40-yard freaking pass interference.
Sure.
Whatever. The Raiders have made a lot of dopey-ass mistakes like that. They've put teams in positions to win the game against us. I don't think that's going to be a hallmark of this Raiders football team. So, frankly, I don't care how good you are, Buffalo Bills in this case, we're going to be enough to hang around. And if we've got now closers, now we can hang around and win. And so I think that there's a world where this Raiders team is going to win these close games. And again, to go back to the idea, Buffalo's beatable. We know that the freaking Chiefs are beatable.
Yep.
Like these are 3 of the 17 on our schedule. I'm telling you, and we will be the talk of the NFL. Yes, I know a lot of it, and the narrative will be, well, what's wrong with the Buffalo Bills?
Oh, right.
Right? If we go in there and beat them. But there also will be a lot of, watch out.
Here come the Raiders.
Here come the goddamn Raiders, right? So throw it on to you two guys, and then I've got a couple of things we're going to watch out for this week.
Yeah. Michelle, you go first.
Yeah, so after watching that game, I thought the same thing. Like, we can win this game. I think Josh Jacobs has a big game on Sunday. Like, I really think that's going to be like the teeter that gets us to where we need to be. Like, but yeah, Josh Allen, he's good for a couple of turnovers. Like, you get some pressure on him, get it in his head, and Max Crosby's going to do that. Like,
yeah.
Bam.
Yeah, I love that you brought up Josh there, because I mean that defense, that rushing defense is suspect over there in Buffalo, you know, for sure. But, you know, I mean, I love, the kids do, the kids do say that. But, you know, I think this season, you know, I mean, I don't know what our record was, because it just doesn't matter, because it was last year. What was our record in 1-possession games last year? I mean, it was not pretty.
Ugly.
Maybe like 1-6 or 1-7 or something like that. It wasn't good. And I think this is going to be another close one. You know, kind of like what you said, the offense is going to, we're going to play pretty mistake-free football on the offensive side of the ball. And, you know, on the defensive side of the ball, we're going to get that turnover or two that we need to, you know, make this kind of a shootout kind of game. So I could see a 27-24 kind of game, a win for the Raiders. But, you know, I think we're going to see, and I think it's going to become a trend during this season, that those games last year, we could have had 10 or 11 wins last year if we won those 1-possession games. We're going to see that start trending the Raider way coming this year, and I think another one starts here in week 2 with Buffalo.
Absolutely, man. I'm with you. And you know, and if Buffalo's considered one of the best teams in the AFC or even the NFL, and we go out there and give them a game, because I think that, like, Michelle, doesn't you feel like, as a Raider fan, right, with this track record we've had since the last time we were in the Super Bowl, I feel like when we come out of the gate, beat a division opponent, this would be the game that we're all going, all right, here we go, Raiders, we're on to something. And then give up 40 to Buffalo.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't feel like we're going that way this year.
No, I think the tide. God, no, get my clown nose. Like, I really do feel like the tide is turned, and everyone sounds different. Everyone sounds like, and I know we've just played one game, but like everyone sounds like they believe that they have what it takes to win games and to finish games and to close out games. Everyone sounds like they really have bought into that. And I think that's going to be the key to the way the next, you know, few weeks go. I think that's going to be the key.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good stuff there. All right. So what are we going to look for here? All right. So I got a couple of things for you to watch out for this weekend. Davante Adams with 10 or more receptions on Sunday Adams could own 22 career games with 10-plus receptions, tying Andre Johnson for the second most games with 10-plus receptions in NFL history.
Wow.
With 2+ touchdowns, Adams will have 22 career games with multiple receiving touchdowns, the most of such games since 2014. It would also tie Art Powell for the 7th most games in NFL history.
Wow.
So good stuff there from Devontae. So there's a lot on the line for Devontae. All right, that's the offensive side. Let's go to the defensive side.
Okay.
Max. With 2 sacks or more, Max Crosby will notch his 9th career game with 2 or more sacks, tied for 4th most 2-sack games in the NFL since 2019, and tied for the 5th most 2-sack games in franchise history with who? Khalil Mack.
Right.
Yeah, with 9. With 1.5 sacks, Crosby will reach 40
sacks.
Yes. In just 68 career games, just the 5th player in NFL history to accomplish that feat with the Raiders. The first since Khalil Mack in 2014, 2017. So good stuff there. So a lot on the line for both of those, our 2 studs on offensive, defensive side of the ball. Now let's go to special teams.
Okay.
Let's go to DC 2. With 1 made field goal in Sunday's game, Daniel Carlson would become just the 4th kicker in NFL history to make 145 field goals in their first 80 games. With 7 points, Carlson would reach over 600 career points with the Raiders, one of only 6 players in franchise history to reach 600 career points with the Raiders.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot going on.
Lot going on.
All right, I got one more for you. All right, and then let's get to the sea of fans because more of you and less of us is a good thing. All right, next. So this is more for like, okay, so there's your prognosis for Sunday. What's the prognosis for the rest of 2023? Here's the kind of stuff we got on the line. Here's what we're going to be looking for. Obviously, we want to look for wins first and foremost.
Sure.
When it comes to our favorite players, here's some fun stuff to look for. Devontae Adams needs 14 touchdowns to surpass Raiders alumnus Tim Brown in career receiving touchdowns and rank 9th on the NFL's all-time receiving touchdowns list.
Wow.
Kicker Daniel Carlson, as I mentioned, needs 7 points to reach 600 career points and become one of only 6 players in franchise history to reach it. Max Crosby needs 10.5 sacks, which matches his rookie year total, in 2023 to reach 49 through his first 5 seasons in the NFL. That would be the most by a Raiders defender through the first 5 seasons. Oh, wow. Taking over Greg Townsend, who we know that he's gunning for.
Right.
Crosby also needs a half a sack to pass Derek Burgess, 38.5 for 7th most sacks in Raiders history. Josh Jacobs needs 5 rushing yards to surpass Napoleon Kaufman and move into 4th in franchise history in career rushing yards.
Damn.
Josh Jacobs needs 8 rushing touchdowns to surpass who? The Rooster.
Pete Banaszak.
Pete Banaszak. You remember this, Michelle?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, is it the yard? Give it.
Yeah. If you needed a yard, he'd get you what?
He'd get you a yard.
If you needed 3 yards, he'd get you what?
Yeah, he'd get you a yard.
He'd get you a yard. Passes 8 touchdowns to pass Pete Banaszak and moving to 2nd in franchise history in career rushing touchdowns.
Dang.
With 100+ yards rushing, Jacobs would notch his 16th career 100-yard performance, which would surpass Clem Daniels for the 2nd most games in franchise history.
Damn.
And the last one I'll give you is this. Wide receiver Hunter Renfrow needs 976 receiving yards in 14 games or less in 2023 to surpass Swervin' Mervin Fernandez at 3,604 for the most receiving yards by a Raiders receiver in their first 70 games.
Wow.
That's pretty cool, man. I know.
Pretty cool.
I know the NFL has more games now. I know that offenses are wide open and the rules are different and all that. But when you look at this current version of the Las Vegas Raiders and they have the ability to take their place amongst the greatest of all time in our franchise history, that's pretty freaking cool stuff.
Yeah,
man.
and I don't know if guys like Devontae or Hunter
They don't care.
They don't care. Max Crosby does. Yeah. Max Crosby has come out on multiple times.
Yeah.
I want to lead the Raiders in sacks.
Yeah.
He knows that Greg Townsend has 107.5.
Yeah.
He knows that number, and he's gunning for it, and he's going to get it.
Well, because I think that, like Michelle, like when you look at a guy like Max Crosby, right? Like if he's getting sacks, He's not taking away sacks from somebody else.
Right.
Where if Devontae came out and said, I want to have X amount of yards and X amount of catches and whatever, well, they're taking away targets from another player.
Right.
So it's more of a selfish statement versus like Max, who's like, I want to get mine, and I hope he gets his too.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like you can share in that stuff.
Yeah.
Versus receptions, which is kind of like one guy or another, right?
Yeah, and I think too, like you said, like Devontae and Hunter maybe aren't thinking about those, but I think Devontae, he grew up a Raiders fan.
That's true.
So
That is
That's
true
a good
too.
point.
Maybe
like
Raider
behind
history, it's probably back there.
He
It's
won't
not
come
the
out and say
first
it,
thing
but
on
he's
his
thinking it.
mind.
Yeah,
He's probably
yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
man, that'd be badass to
Past
cement
Tim Brown.
myself in that, in that mystique of the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably back. That's probably not like first on the list, but it's in there.
Yeah.
It's in there.
And he's cognizant enough to know that he can't come out and say that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But but I'm with you. That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great call out. All right, Swag Jeff, let's go ahead and hit a break and go to the Sea of Fans.
There he is, baiting, looking. He's under the gun. He's caught, he's thrown. It is.
All right, Raider Nation, as we always say, more of you and less of us is a good thing. So this is where we check in with you in what we call the Sea of Fans mailbag. You can contact us a multitude of ways. You can be live in the chat room like so many of our good friends tonight at youtube.com/RaidersFanRadio. Corey Fleck is in there. Tony Shefford. Paul Edgerton is in there. Wyoming Raider is in there. Gladiator Raider. Mr. OG Raider. Jay Jackson. T3 Sports Guy. That's our buddy T-Hom. Let's see. Road Code is in there. Rob Raider is in there. Mr. OG Raider. Hoffy. Rick Raider. Trinidad. What's up, Trin? Corey Fleck is in there. Shout out 51. Corey Fleck. Let's see. Who am I missing there? Gladiator Raider is in there. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you, Yoshi. I appreciate everybody joining us live. And appreciate everybody that's got their name in green. That's all the folks that have green. You are members of the Raiders Fan Radio channel. Only costs you $5 a month, and you can not only get all those cool emojis and the badges and all that stuff, but as Michelle's holding up here, you can get that cool card print there. And so just send Michelle an email. That's Michelle at RaidersFanRadio.com. And we have one of our first callers actually brings that up about that he was trying to emailing you, but he was emailing the wrong address. So I'm gonna play his call there so we can clarify for everybody. But yeah, it's RaidersFanRadio.com, and so you'll get that card print, and then you get all the cool stuff in here. And so we appreciate you guys. And it's, again, that $5 a month, 100% of it goes to the foundation, and we give it all to Raiders related charities. So
and real quick,
please.
I sent out the first batch that I made.
Okay.
I have to make another batch, but I put that on hold for this week because I had to make art for
you're
a
so
show
busy.
I've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
coming
yeah.
up. But I will get back Monday morning and to do a bunch of them to send out. But I did send out the first batch. There's a lot of addresses that I don't have. So if you have not, and I'll go through to the ones that I have sent, and I will let you know that I sent out your print. But I have a lot that I still don't have. If there's as many as there are, because I think I only sent like 15 or something. I know we have
like
more
40.
than that. That's what I was
We have
thinking.
like 40 members
there
now.
are a lot of addresses, but at some soon I will let you know if I've sent yours out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're only going to do 100
Ron,
of these.
yours is on the way. I see. He said he sent. I know I sent Ron's, but I will let everybody know that I've sent theirs if it's already gone out.
So yeah, we're only going to do 100 of those, and they're numbered and each individual. And so yeah, that's what you get when you become a member.
Member, cabrón? Remember? You member? You don't member? You member? Member? Shit, you cried a lot. That's remember.
All right. So yeah, so you can become a member,
And
or
Mr. OG Raider asked if you can gift memberships.
Oh.
So I don't think you
I
can.
don't think we
you may have to
can,
just
yeah.
coordinate offline on that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you can contact us a multitude of ways, as I mentioned, either live in the chat. You can call the show at 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. and we will feature those voicemails in a minute. But before we get to those, we're going to go over the emails this week, and that goes to show. That is S H
Yes.
O
Uh-huh.
W.
As in 1 and 0.
Yes, and so that is SHOW at RaidersFanRadio.com. And if we feature your emails an indefinite amount of times or your voicemails 3 times, we will refer to you as a made man or a made woman. And, speaking of kind of made men and made women.
Yeah.
The city cops say fine. Your counsel can't say anything, but they promise to break their silence soon with a press conference. No, son of a bitch! Will be there. It looks like a big one, maybe the biggest this town has ever seen. Stay tuned.
I saw somebody put up a gif of that, of Ray Liotta in Goodfellas when he's slapping the shower.
I love it.
And he's going, Jimmy! And I'm just like,
movies.
oh, it's so good. It's
love
so
it.
freaking good. Anyways, without further ado, Michelle, who do we got tonight for the emails?
All right, we got Raider Lorian first. Hope Myers is okay. Putting his body on the line, his sacrifice won't go unnoticed. A win is a win. We're still the daddies, mommies of the donkeys for another game. There we are. Victory Monday. Thank you all for what you do. Much love to you and your families. Raider Lorian 93.
Nice.
Who's your daddy or your mommy?
Victory! Thank you, Raider Lorian.
Well, yeah.
All right, we got DJ Lenny Danger next. Blessings, Murph, Swag, Michelle, and the RFR family.
Thank you, Lenny.
Yes. After watching week 1 of our Raiders performance, I can say for myself that it was less than desirable. I'm not going too deep into breakdowns, but needless to say, there was a lot of done mistakes made on both sides of the ball. If we go into Buffalo playing even remotely close to how they played the Donkeys, shaking my head, we're going to be slapped around like a cat does the mice. If we clean up the penalties on both sides of the ball and our defense pursuits better, I believe we'll make the game interesting. I am, however, impressed by the fighting spirit we showed out there. We played to win, and that we did. Not like McDaniels' philosophy last season of playing not to lose. My positive notes. Jimmy looked good out there. Even made some plays with his feet. Mind blown. Who would have thought? Best of all, he came through at a very pivotal moment for us to close out the game. JJ looked good considering he missed training camp. Let's not mention that O-line couldn't open a bag of chips. Never mind a hole for him to get through. Max, not too much to say. He's a dog and balled out. I wish I had 1/4 of his energy. Dude, same.
Right.
And Hobbs, he did well. We could have done without the pass interference, though. In conclusion, if we fail to clean things up, we're in for another long, disappointing season. This game was sloppier than my first kiss. This is DJ Lenny Danger, and I am out. Raiders, woohoo!
Woo-hoo!
Nice.
Shot Lenny Danger.
Yeah, that was true. It was sloppy, but it was a win.
We'll take it.
W's or W's.
That's right. All right, I got Matthew Mangus. Hello, RFR family. The
Hi,
Raiders
Matthew.
are 1-0 after a very hard-fought win against the Denver Donkeys.
Yeah, we are.
Props have to go to Coach McDaniels. This is a game that last year we would have lost, but we didn't. And Coach deserves credit for having the boys ready. Now it's on to Buffalo, a team that doesn't want to go 0-2. We need to be cleaner on defense with no stupid holding or pass interference calls that extend drives. And on special teams, we can't have a roughing the kicker that gives them a new set of downs.
Ugh.
Oh, that one. Ooh,
That
that
was
was
rough.
tough.
Come on, Luke.
Expect our DBs to be tested with Diggs moving around. But Allen is known to get careless with the ball, so it's up to our defensive line to get pressure and force Allen into mistakes.
Or says he's fat.
As for our offense, we need to protect Jimmy and give him time to find weapons, and hopefully there will be no more turnovers in the end zone. I predicted a loss, but when the Raiders win, I will fly to Henderson, Nevada, and personally apologize to Coach McDaniels. Here to hopefully another victory Monday. Yours truly, Matthew Mangus, proud made man, 2-time Gemini man winner.
Nice.
Nice job, Matthew.
You better book your ticket, Matthew.
I was going to
Book
say,
that ticket.
those Mangus boys have been all over Josh McDaniels this
I know.
offseason,
They
man.
have.
Yeah.
You better go on and book that ticket to
Yeah.
apologize because we're winning Sunday. Okay. All right. This is Just Win Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Wendy. Murph, Swag, Jeff, Uncle Mosh, Michelle, my belle.
Aw.
A little Beatles,
Little Beatles reference there.
Gotta
Dig
love
it.
that.
Yeah.
Hi there, Raiders fans and trolls.
Hey,
Just
Barry
got home
Bonson.
from home from my week in Colorado. visited family who live near Boulder, and Saturday night drove down to the 5280 bar for a party with the Denver chapter of the Black Hole. Reminded me of an Oakland Rickies club crowd, 150 plus loud, rowdy, wonderful Raider family people. Great DJ, music, dancing, and I made a bunch of new Raider Nation friends. My Vegas tailgate friends finally showed up late. Also found Brian. Allen Autumn Wind, gave him my 5-game predictions. 1, Broncos score 0 points. 2, Russell gets sacked twice. 3, Jimmy G throws 2 touchdowns. 4, Raiders defense gets 2 turnovers. 5, Raiders win. Sunday morning, we got to the stadium early, found Denver Black Hole tailgaters in C-Lot. Huge group of our Raiders fan family, food, drinks, and loud music.
Let's go.
And and also met up with 10 of my B-Lot Vegas tailgate friends. Then I turned around, and the 6 new friends I made last night were there too. In a stadium parking lot with thousands of peeps, it's truly good karma that I always find my friends. I always find Murph when he's there.
Absolutely.
Saying all this to show I was brimming over with screaming Silver and Black Raider energy before the game. Okay, yeah, the game. Well, turned out our seats up in the Rocky Mountain High 500 section were just one row below Steampunk Raider from Vegas. But no other Raiders fans around, so the 3 of us were sitting in a sea of Agent Orange. But I'm not shy and had no problem jumping up and down screaming when Payton's slick onside kick failed. Oh, yeah, that was
that was he's so arrogant, man.
What a bitch.
Bitch, man. Literally. First,
he's fat.
and he's a bitch. First and second quarters were a roller coaster of Jimmy G ups and downs, showing the signs of a lack of practice and game snaps with pass catchers until he found Meyers and Tay for a few beautiful plays. He seemed to forget there were others on the field, tight ends and HR 13. Ooh. Defense looked a bit shell-shocked for a few plays and then started to gang up and work together by the second quarter. Then the penalty bug hit. Those thousands of orange people yelled at every offensive snap, which I wish the Vegas fans would do, and they were giving me a headache. By halftime, I was not feeling very positive anymore, and third quarter started. I was feeling like I was swimming in angry Agent Orange soda.
You know, can I just jump in real fast? You know what the most annoying thing about watching the Raiders play the Broncos?
What's that?
That stupid incomplete that they play.
Do they do that?
Lame. That's lame.
Yes. Now that I've said that, it will annoy the shit out of you and anybody else that never realized that. Yeah, every time the opposing team throws an incomplete pass, they all collectively go incomplete, and they play a soundbite. It goes wah 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 wah.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
It's so dumb.
That
it's the
is
corniest,
dumb.
bullshittiest, dumb, lame ass thing.
You can't play that shit if you've finished last in the AFC.
Yeah, right?
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You haven't earned the
It's
right
so
to do that stupid shit.
Yeah. Peyton ain't in the building anymore. John Elway's not in the building anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to make fun of the other team's quarterback and completion percentage when your own sucks ass? Get out of here with that shit.
Mr. Unlimited.
Oh, my gosh. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail that,
No,
but
you're good.
I'm sure Wendy, was getting
that probably
chorused by
was-
that, and it's so dumb.
Then the defense showed up. Spillane had been hit hard in the first half, and Hobbs was everywhere. Defense seemed to have figured out how to do pressure. Oops, I forgot. I don't need to give you game analysis. You all have watched the game 2 or 3 times by now. So to continue on my experience at Mile High, which became orange slush with the rain by the fourth quarter, I was bent over watching each play intently and screaming for our D, and was giving many ugly orange beer breath scowls. So proud that the D didn't allow more than 3 points in the second half. They looked like they were really playing as a cohesive unit in the fourth quarter. Hobbs, Spillane, Peters, and others all playing at Max's intensity level. And watching Jimmy G lead the offense in the fourth quarter, I felt more confident that we could win. And by the time they took the victory formation, I was jumping up and down yelling, and most of the orange slushies were grumbling, "Yeah, we still suck," and stumbling down the stairs to leave early. Oh. Turns out I got 3 out of 5 of my predictions right, but no interceptions. This is way too long. I'll go back and edit. I was so happy we beat the orange clownfish donkeys because I truly hate them. However, note to self, I do hate the Chiefs more. Same. Okay, on to Buffalo and the table-smashing Blue Bills. I think the Bills are really angry they lost Monday and will be out to whip and smash Raiders' asses. But regardless, Jimmy G can and does win in hostile environments, and I will give us the edge to beat the Bills. Hunter R. and tight ends Mayer and Hooper will all get a pass or two, and Jimmy will throw at least 5 different pass catchers.
Nice.
D will get 1 or 2 interceptions from Josh Allen, wild hero throws, and 2 sacks when he runs away from Max into his own players. Jimmy will have three passing touchdowns.
Oh,
I like it.
hot take.
I
Love
like
it.
that. So everyone have a great victory week. I love all of you out there in Raider fan radio land. Hi. Don't know why I forgot to mention my favorite running back, number 8, Josh Jacobs. I thought Josh definitely did not act like his usual twitchy, shifty, elusive self, but he was determined to play and got much more confident and pushy by the fourth quarter, making those extra 1 or 2 yards after getting hit. I'm sure he's going to be up to his old self by next week. Thanks. See you on the radio. Just win, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy, nice job.
Good stuff, Wendy.
Yeah.
So before that segment, I mentioned that if you email the show an indefinite amount of times, you can become a made man or a made woman. And so you know what? It's been long enough. We need to put Wendy on the list. Welcome to the crew. Welcome to the table. Just win, Wendy. You are the newest made woman.
This made woman is loyal, blustering in our fan mail. Mess with her, I would deter. She'll kick you right in your tail. Her face is always game ready, painted in silver and black. She is loyal to the Raider Nation. She always has our back. She cheers as she storms our podcast, a fan no prouder or bold. And here on Raiders Fan Radio, her fandom is as valued as gold. This made woman is a Raider, a fierce and loyal fan. She's out here yelling and clearly telling she can kick ass as good as a man.
All right, there we go. Give it up for Wendy. That's awesome.
Wendy, welcome.
Welcome to the table, Wendy.
We need more made women.
We're getting
I love it.
The roster's getting a little deep now.
I like it.
I love it. Love it. Good stuff there. So appreciate you all very, very much. All right, next up we've got, do I have Daniel Mangus?
You do.
I
Yeah,
do.
you
Okay,
do.
all right. All right, so let's see if we can get it.
I'm good.
You good? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so
Right to the
a little
mic.
behind the
Sorry.
scenes there, yeah. All right. Good evening, RFR crew. Damn, it feels good to be a Raider. The boys sit at. There we go. Sorry. The boys sit at
Good start on your reading there, Murph.
Jeez.
Give it back.
Today, Junior.
Michelle said, "Give it back."
Here, you read it. I'm gonna go pee.
Yeah, you do.
Here, since you're
Tag.
There you go.
Oh,
that was the one that you took from her.
Oh yeah. All right, give me that one back.
Jackass.
But I gotta. Here, you read it.
Okay.
All right.
so small. Okay. All right. Daniel Mangus. Good evening, RFR crew. Damn, it feels good to be a Raider.
Yeah, it does.
The boys sit. The boys sit at 1-0 atop the AFC West. How does last place taste, KC? Yeah. What a win by the Raiders versus the Broncos. We have a lot to fix, but always feel better to fix problems after a dub. Now, who's up next? The Buffalo Bills. The Bills are no joke, and the Raiders must do 3 things to walk out of Buffalo 2-0. Number 1, protect the football. The Raiders must play mistake-free football with 0 turnovers. Number 2, put Josh Allen on his ass. The Raiders' D-line must come ready to play, plug up the run, and bring Allen to his knees with pressure and sacks. Number 3, force turnovers and turn those turnovers into 7. Josh has been known to force the ball into tight windows and play hero ball. The Raiders must capitalize on this and force turnovers, then turn those turnovers into 7 points and bury them in their mistakes. I know in my season predictions I had us losing this game, but the Raiders can win if they play clean game and if given the chance, bury the Bills in their mistakes. That's a lot from this twin. Yours truly, Daniel Mangus, Proud Made Man, 2023 Gemini Man winner, 2022 Saltiest Loser winner, Die Hard Raiders fan.
Hey, nice job. Nice job.
Good job, Daniel.
Great job.
What is up, RFR fam? Hooligan Nation here once again. I mean, really, what's there other to say than just one baby? Raiders!
Thank you, God. Victory! All right, good job there.
There you go, Hooligan Nation.
I just
Hooligan
want that
Nation.
song
nice
to
job.
play every time you play that clip. I'm like,
I know, right?
I know, right?
I'll be surprised if Sony doesn't chase us down for that one too. I know,
Right?
right? Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you got another one.
I do.
Oh, good job, Jeff.
Greetings and salutations, Murph, the formerly big Swaggo, looking great, son.
Oh. Says he's fat.
That is true. The formerly big Swaggo.
Or says he's fat.
Looking great, son.
That ain't true. That's not true.
Recover.
And the lovely, lovely Michelle effing Sweat and the millions
and millions
of made men and women around the globe. Heavy lies the crown. It is so good to be back on top of the AFC West.
That's so funny. I'm just gonna have fun over here with the. I love when you guys do emails because I can just play with the buttons.
Yeah, well, I thought you were gonna. Heavy lies the crown.
Or says he's fat.
It is so good to be back on top.
I don't believe it.
Of the AFC West and the AFC. Hell, the entire freaking league.
17. Scared the shit out of me, right? 17 or no until mathematically eliminated. I have the donkey for.
Friends, okay, you got to stop that.
Like Peter Brady.
I'm distracted
he
myself. I have a few donkey friends I keep close for dog kicking purposes.
Same.
And just to know it could be worse feelings. You know, you would not believe the chatter of this lucky win. Lucky how? Lucky we played not that good, but the Elway Log team played worse? That's football, baby. You find a way to win even though you're not at your best. See me at work hungover. I kill it. That is what winners do. Lovers make excuses. It's week 1. It's going to be a long season. I would like to see the Doinks win a few games and not get Caleb Williams and turn his career. But Hill at the last week. Bye, Felicia. I was worried about playing an East Coast game in Buffalo, but now Josh Allen is playing like he's in Wyoming again. I hope he turns it around in week 3 or 4. He's my fantasy quarterback. But he didn't even lose to Rodgers. He lost to mother effing freaking Zach Wilson. And now he's going to lose to Pornhub.com's #1 fan, Just Win Jimmy. And my friends, Jimmy is winning.
Wow.
On a side note, I should wrap up any car issues. The Saints have a super easy schedule.
Oh, my gosh.
They don't even face a top 10 quarterback all year.
Yep.
Carr should have a great season. Then I've kept an eye on the game on the 5th TV in the bar. I came to the inevitable conclusion. Derek Carr is trash-ass booty trash.
Oh, my God.
The Titans literally left the middle of the field wide open. Not a defensive tackle, not a linebacker, or a safety. They stacked 3 on top of each tackle and pushed the secondary to the sidelines like it was the 2-minute drill. Carr did not step up into the pocket once and made Arden Key look like an effing Pro Bowl player.
Oh, my gosh, true.
Even the one touchdown pass he threw was on the sideline, and the receiver just happened to get past the coverage. Now that I'm done talking about that guy and his whiny family, just goes to show you that football can be like a bad relationship. You don't see how trash they are until they leave. You will try to make excuses just to prove that you are not wrong. Is it better to be right or to do right? The donkeys will be saying this about Russ in due time. Just win, baby. Stacy Rough Raider, proud made man, longtime listener. P.S. Swag Jeff, I don't call you son because you're mine. I call you son because you shine. Just keep shining. Keep up the good work, fam. Stacy Rough Raider.
Oh, my gosh. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Much respect, Stacy.
Oh, well,
let's split a bottle of Jameson, Stacey.
Oh, my gosh. Hey,
I don't. It's too late. It's gone. The
Swag-
Jameson's gone.
Swag Jeff, shout out your former self.
Much respect to Fat Swaggo.
The week. You look like melted ice cream.
Ugh, I can actually hear you getting fatter.
Says he's fat.
Who's fat? Too fat.
Big
fat. Fatty.
Wyoming Raiders says that's Sizzler worthy. It absolutely is.
I mean,
Stacy Ruff, man, you brought the heat on that one, brother. That was great.
Trash ass booty trash. I
Trash
will
ass
be
booty
using
trash.
that.
Yep.
For sure.
Oh, my gosh. Too funny.
Yep.
All right, Michelle, who do we got to close this thing out?
Oh, okay. Whew, I'm going to really try. Here, this is Paul.
Hey, Paul.
evening, everybody. I hope
it's going to be hard to get through the rest
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Okay.
Okay, let's
Here we
get
go.
it together. Let's get it together. All right.
Okay. Evening, everybody. I hope you're all well. This week's email
Not yet, but
is
we're getting there.
We're getting there.
This week's email is only available to fans whose teams are top of their division. This sweet taste of victory
nice.
never gets old, does it? Seeing those sad-looking inbred donkey faces gave me a warm feeling inside. And by my very weak math, we're only about 12 wins away from the divisional title already.
Oh, nice.
We're on track. To all the haters out there, that last comment was an attempt at humor, so shut up already. There can be no doubt that there was a good and bad on Sunday, but it can happen. First game of the season, so let's not get carried away. I don't think any of us expected perfection from the guys, but it's fair to say we didn't expect to see the basic errors that were made either. Stupid penalties, weak tackling by some, and soft coverage at times in the middle of the field. Ultimately thought it was about getting the win, and that's what we did. Ultimately, though, it was about getting the win, and that's what we did. I believe if we don't make the basic errors, we go on to win the game by a bigger margin. We will get better as the season goes on, but we have to find a way of putting more pressure on the quarterback. We're leaving ourselves too exposed in the middle of the field and will be punished heavily by the better teams. Tyree clearly needs time, and with Chandler Jones going all Fruit Loop and turning into AB 2.0, we can't rely on depth players to see us through. And that's pretty much all we have out there at the minute. Please do something sooner rather than later. Of all the ways to seal a win, I'd have loved to have seen something spectacular like a return for a touchdown, a bomb to Tay, or a Seattle-style breakaway from JJ. Who'd have thought it would end up being Jimmy G run for 8 yards to the left sideline for a first down? The relief when he got there was incredible. Shout out to Josh Jacobs for the lead block on their number 49 to create the space and him going down out of bounds. That was smart
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
My MVPs on the day were, in no particular order, Nate Hobbs, Malcolm Kuntz, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jakobi Meyers, Jacorian Bennett, and, of course, Max Crosby. Villains on the day were the officials who decided not to eject Kareem Jackson after his hit on Jakobi Meyers. Yeah.
He should have been gone on the spot, man.
Yeah.
That was weak.
And choose to have a quiet word with Randy Gregory 3 times for constantly using his
Oh,
mouth.
yeah. We even talk about that.
Yeah.
All that shit he was talking, and then he pitched a shutout. He got nothing.
For constantly using his mouth, but couldn't wait to get the laundry out for taunting on Jakobi Meyers following his touchdown. I have one other hero to mention. During a break in play, the camera was showing the crowd, and they were doing some weird donkey rope lasso carrying the community dance, and there was one Raiderette mocking them and giving them shit with both barrels. God bless her. Yeah, God bless. I didn't see that.
I didn't
God
see it
bless
either.
her.
I didn't catch that either.
Onto the Bills it is then, which might be a little trickier to negotiate, especially after Monday night. We have to set the tempo, run the ball, and don't give Josh Allen time to throw. He's low on confidence outside of the pocket at the minute, so blitz his ass, coach. Finally, some of you may have thought I was... Finally! Big swag. No, I'm just kidding.
Or says he's fat.
Finally, much respect to formerly Big Swaggo.
Jeez, Jeff.
I can't.
I hope I don't gain it back.
Okay. Finally.
Oh, my gosh. Sorry. Go ahead. No, sorry. Go ahead. I'm derailing.
No, it's me. Some of you may have thought I was overly harsh in last week's email about the stupid-ass bitch on the white horse.
Nice.
I'd like to apologize for any offense caused and make it clear that I have nothing against the horse. I love you, Paul. I love you.
Oh, shit.
Over to you, Houston
underrated.
Raiders. That's so
sneaky
good.
as hell.
Yeah,
That's
I
funny.
love it. I love it. Over to you, Houston
No
Raiders.
disrespect to horses.
Respect horses.
Yeah. Much respect to the horses. It's not
so
their
funny.
fault. They don't
Damn
get to
you,
choose.
Paul.
They don't get to choose. Over to you, Houston Raider Steve. Stay safe, RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, the Royal Scribe, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi. Pauly Award winner 2019 and 2022. Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020. BRT Sizzler scorekeeper, proud made man.
Five time times 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Winner of the Raiders Fan Radio, BRT Sizzler.
Damn you, Paul. That was epic, dude.
Epic, dude.
Paul.
Ball.
So funny.
Paul, your name Paul?
Paul.
I met him with Paul. Who? Paul.
Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul.
Hi. I'm Paul.
All right, Paul, we appreciate you so very, very much and the epic emails as always, my friend. And if you want to be like Paul, you can email the show.
And who doesn't want to be
Who
like
wouldn't
Paul?
want to be like Paul? That's right. Absolutely. You can email the show at RaidersFanRadio.com. All right, next up, let's see. And I'm going to apologize real quick here. So Lalo and Mr. Los Angeles, they sent an email and with some sound stuff on it, and I apologize. I'm unable to pull it up. We will definitely get it in for this next week, and I apologize, guys. It got lost in my email there, and by the time I found it, and I'm just not able to play it here on the show, but we will get to you guys, I promise. So I am sorry for that. All right. Next up, we've got Chuck McCann is an old school made man around here. Of
course.
President of the New Jersey chapter of the Black Hole, holds down his Raider fandom up there in the Northeast and was an early supporter and listener of the show. Well, we've got another Chuck.
Okay.
And it's not Chuck Woodson. It's New Chuck.
New Chuck.
So let's check in. You just got your nickname there because everybody around here's got a nickname. Let's check in with New Chuck.
Hey, Murph, Swag, and Michelle. Just a new member here. I was going to email Michelle for her to send me something, and it seems like I keep getting kicked back. I thought it was Michelle at RaiderFanRadio.com. Maybe I have the wrong email. You guys could email me, or Michelle could, at chuck.utz. That's UTZ.
Sorry about that. Everybody's got your email right.
Everyone.
And my social
Everyone
security
email
number
Chuck.
is.
Yeah. Everyone email Chuck.
Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Fuck those donkeys.
Whoa, hey.
See you on the next show. Hey.
There you go.
Good job,
First,
Chuck.
a first call, an F-bomb.
Yeah.
Telling you.
Hey, and Chuck, it's Michelle at Raiders.
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key.
FanRadio.com. Yeah, you got to add the S on
You
Raiders.
got to add the S on there. Yep, that's right. That's right. And so, all right, good stuff there from New Chuck. All right, so next up, let's go to our buddy down. He's down in Alabama.
Yep.
He was talk about a gamer. Talk about a guy that's playing through injury.
That's it, man.
Feeling a little down in the dumps because he's not feeling so hot.
Okay.
Wish you well, Josh. Hope you feel better soon. But he did. He was playing injured and still called in to celebrate 1-0. So we appreciate you, Josh, down in the 703.
What's up, fam? Sorry, I've been under the weather right now. Just want to call in real quick. Just want to say, Harvard didn't look too bad. Jimmy G kind of gave us a scare for a second, but King played. That was good. We need to put up more points, but that's a good defense we're going against. I want to see defensively, man. I'm hoping to see better. I really want to see that Amari Burney linebacker and that what's his name? Defensive tackle Bryce Young. I'd like to see, or Byron Young. I'd like to see him more. But just defensively, kind of like where our corners set up. Hopefully safeties get better. I know Merrick struggled. But, hey, 1-0, love y'all, and man, fuck the Bills.
There we go.
Get well soon there, Josh.
Absolutely, and appreciate you calling in. As always, my friend. All right, next up, so we're going to hit the pro wrestling portion of the night.
Okay.
So this is where we've got, first off, we've got the American Nightmare.
Oh, nice.
Sounds a lot like old school Dusty Rhodes.
Yep.
That's
or
right.
Currently Cody Rhodes. That's what his nickname is.
There you go. He really is the American Nightmare, right?
He is.
So this was before Cody Rhodes was Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, and this was just because this guy. So we're talking about T-Hom,
right?
Who's the American Nightmare? He started that when John Gruden was like, "I'm into effing nightmares."
Right.
Remember that? So he started the American Nightmare. So anyway, let's check in with the American Nightmare, and I haven't heard any of this stuff. So let's it's usually a pretty dead-on impression. So let's check in with T-Hom.
This is the American Nightmare, Dusty Raider. You know, traveling throughout this country, the Nightmare is recognized not by his hairstyle, or his pretty face, or even his blue eyes, but instead he is recognized by the colors that he wears, and those colors be silver and black. And it's a part of the Raider Nation, which we're talking about a $500,000 a year fan base, not $100 a week. Get my drift. Pundits around the country talking about how great the Buffalo Bills are. And unless I miss my guess, they're sitting at 0-1 after giving the ball up 4 times. And who's sitting at the top of the AFC West? That would be the Raider Daddy, leading the pack. So for all you doubters out there who are hoping that the Raiders are going to lose and hopping all over the betting line and the point spread and forecasting doom and gloom for the Raiders this week, hear me out one time, you understand. One thing I love is chicken. And you know, this week, the Nightmare going to make a trip up to Buffalo and feast on some chicken wings. And me and Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson are going to have buffalo sauce all over our faces as we devour the home team there and take what we want. Al Davis said it, and we're going to go out and do it. Now it's time to go out and get funky like a monkey.
Yeah. It's like we got Dusty Rhodes, we got Truman Capote going on there a little bit. Yeah.
A lot of things.
Yeah. And shout out Truman Capote if you get that joke. You get that reference. Something like a timely one there, Murph. All right, so next up, let's continue through the jeez. Let's continue through the pro wrestling portion of the Sea of Fans mailbag, and let's check in with the Mengus boys doing their best DX impression. I said DX. That's Triple H. That's the Road Dogg, Jesse James. That's X-Pac.
Shawn Michaels.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Red Nation. Oh, you didn't know? So I better call somebody. You're damn right. Oh, hell yeah. We are back. It's me, D.O.W.G. Always learn with that bad boy Billy Gunn. Ready to kick that shiznit off. Go get style. And now, oh, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, tonight, the Generation X proudly brings to you its defending Gemini Man Tag Team Champions of the World. The Road Dogg, Jesse James. The badass Billy Gunn. The New Age Outlaws. And as always, as it's been for over 20 years, if you ain't down with that, we got 2 words for ya! Fuck it!
Good job, Mengus boys.
Much respect.
Much respect.
Love
I'm
it.
telling you, the Sea of Fans mailbag, the Sizzler Award tonight, that's going to be some
know.
tough going there, man. We've got
know.
some great entries tonight, so appreciate you guys. Mengus boys bringing it, man. All right, next up, we got 2 more to get to. Talk about heavy hitters, man. We got old school made guys
yeah.
here. Let's first off start up there in Jersey and check in with our good friend of the show, Rev Raider.
What's going on, Murph? Uncle Mosh, living out that good retirement. Young Swaggo, Michelle Sweat. This is Rev Raider calling from Jersey. Just wanted to weigh in. Calling a little late because I just wanted to digest the game a little bit. You know, it was week 1. Great win. Happy we won. Sorry about this dog whining. She's always whining. I'm on my job right now. But it was a good win. It was hard fought. You know, they did what they had to do. There were a lot of things to be expected, issues, you know, little stupid penalties and stuff like that, stuff that can be addressed and cleaned up, you know. I'm happy it happened in week 1, but through all of that, they still persevered and did a lot of, you know, and we got the dub. Divisional win. We top of the division right now. I'm cool with that. I just got to say, I definitely think Malcolm Kuntz he definitely needs to get a lot more burn. I get you want to get that rookie involved and stuff like that, Tyree Wilson, but at the same time, every time Malcolm Coots was on the field, man, he was crashing pretty good, and he was like moving with a sense of urgency, quick hands and stuff like that. I like what I saw from him. Tyree Wilson, not gonna beat him up too bad. He's a rookie, you know, so it's to be expected. You know, he just looked like, I'm not gonna say, like, a lot of people saying he's slow. It looks like he was indecisive. It looks like when he came out of his stance, it was almost like why are you playing patty cake? Make a move and go. You know, it seemed like he was overthinking a lot, you know. Yeah, a little bit of conditioning because he hasn't played a lot, but I think he'll improve. So I'm like, you know, I'm gonna retain my judgment. You know, I'm gonna hold on to my judgment before I start going in on him.
Amen.
But overall, I saw a lot of good things that need to be cleaned up. I'm not gonna bash anybody. You know, we got a dub. Why would I be mad at a dub? You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
And so, but that's all I got for that game. But now we're on to Buffalo. You know, they look like they can be beat. You know, but we can't have those silly penalties like we did this past week. You know, we got to play a full 60 minutes of mistake-free as much as possible ball. You know, just ball out and do what we do, and we can march off with that dub, I believe. But that's all I got. You know, don't want to see Josh McDaniels doing another thing. Dumb interview looking like Zoolander, flashing blue steel. Peace.
All right, good job, Rev.
Much respect.
Oh, my gosh. Too funny. All right, good stuff there from Rev Raider. Last up, all right, we're going to head to the Canary Islands.
Of course.
To hear from our buddy. He is Italian-born, but he calls himself Raider Born Rico. So I'll just give you a warning in advance.
Right.
If you've got lights, dim them.
Dim 'em.
If you've got candles,
You better light them
That's
bitches
it.
up.
better. If you've got aromatherapy,
Yeah. If you
do whatever you do to activate aromatherapy.
Drop some of that oil in the bathtub.
If you got pants, drop them.
Wyoming Raider says, hide your wives. Absolutely. So,
Or hide your husband.
Or your husband.
Yeah, right, for that matter.
Or bring him in closer. I don't know.
Hey,
Do your thing.
Lean back into it. You know, do what you do.
Just let him know it's there. It's up to him what he decides to do with it. Shit. Sorry, I broke us. Vibrator in the chat. My girl Valerie, all she puts in there is panties.
They dropped. It's too late.
Panties emoji.
They're gone.
Oh, Lord. Mercy. All right, baby. All right, plug your ears for a minute. All right, here we go. Let's check in with our buddy, Raider Born Rico.
Hey guys, Rev Rico here. So just a quick message of faith. Like I like to start my day with prayer. Nothing better than be sure of the fact you're just a man and you should be thankful for what you got to me. Your adventure nation in the day is very complicated. You might find some obstacles that put you down, but that's the moment you got to stand up and take all those obstacles with your faith. Imagine the obstacles like they're the Muppets. Like if you got Kermit Mahomes in front of you, you will let him pass or you will sack him. I mean, it's obvious. So this Sunday, let's take all those obstacles. Let's take all the donkeys. Let's take all the division. We got an opportunity here. And listen, if we're going to lose, remember, every time, chin up and be thankful to be a Raider.
Let's go.
So the day
Awesome,
after,
Rico.
keep praying, keep the faith, and keep rocking those Raider jersey. So with all that said, I love you all. Cheers to all of you. Go Raiders. I'm out.
There he is, Raider Born
Much
Rico.
respect. Salute,
my friend. Wyoming Raiders says now I gotta have his babies. But you know it's funny. So we have a lot of fun with Rico and his dulcet tones.
Vibrator
obviously.
said, "Where did I put the ShamWow?"
Oh. Dang, baby.
Wow. Jeez.
All right, but it was
Your nightstand? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Where you left it last, vibe.
There's way more truth to all this.
Hey! Jeez.
Oh, this is so good. So good.
So we have a lot of fun with Rico, and obviously in his amazing voice and his delivery and everything. But I gotta tell you guys, his takes are awesome, and
Every
that whole
time.
idea that like you're starting your day off with prayer and with faith, and like I love that. And then the whole idea of like, regardless of what happens on Sunday, gonna rock that Raider gear, and we
That's
all
it,
will.
man.
But like, I love his takes are always on point.
Every time.
Every time,
Every
right?
time, yeah.
Absolutely. And so
he has no idea the hold he has on people, though. But he
probably doesn't realize, like,
No.
right? Like,
but he
I mean,
really brings it every single time
Yeah.
he calls in.
Absolutely.
It's a great take.
Great stuff there from Rico.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you, my friend. And all right, so let's go ahead and award a Sizzler Award. This comes down to Swag Jeff picking the best of the emailer or phone callers of the night. Swag Jeff, who do we got?
Oh my gosh, we have so much. So we started off with the emails. Raider Lorian, DJ Lenny Danger, Matthew Mangus, Just Win Wendy, congrats on being a made woman. Daniel Mangus, Hooligan Nation, Stacy Ruff, and Paul, of course. The voicemails, we got New Chuck, Josh in the 703, get well soon, my friend. The American Nightmare, the Mangus Boys, Rev Raider, and of course, ending it with Rico. But tonight's Sizzler Award goes to a guy that has maybe our new favorite saying ever. That is hashtag TABT, trash ass booty trash. The winner of the Sizzler this week is Stacy Ross.
Sizzler. We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we out here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
Garoppolo, beat the Bills.
ShamWow. We appreciate you all very need to know about your life. Appreciate everybody that is joining us tonight live in the chat room tonight. I'll leave it to Jeff to shout everybody out, but I'll just tell you this. I can't thank you enough. Matthew Mangus said 72 people, only 17 likes. Please do us a favor. We love that you're there in the chat room. We love that you're watching the show. If you could just hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe for us.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Anything that you can do like that means the world to us. And I think it's underrated how much it can mean, because what it does is it attracts advertisers to this show. And with that advertising money, like we're bringing on the Manscaped folks next week, with that, we give it away. We give it to our foundation, which is the One Nation Foundation. And that nonprofit gives to all Raiders related charities. So we can't thank you guys enough for supporting Raiders Fan Radio, for being here and promoting it and telling your friends about it. Thank you to Michelle. Thank you to Swag Jeff. You guys are the best co-hosts in the game. And we love you guys very, very much. Michelle, take us on out of here.
Yeah, man, listen, let's get this W and let's keep my 13-4 going.
Yes,
That's what I want to do. Thanks to everyone in the chat. You guys always make this show so damn
fun.
cool.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I couldn't
Big
agree
swaggo?
more. Big swaggo no more.
I'm sorry.
Or says he's fine. Much respect. Thank you guys for emailing and calling, man. This was an all-star lineup, and it was one of the best Sea fans that we've had in a minute.
So
Raider
good.
Lorian, DJ Lenny Danger, the Mangus Boys. We got like 4 doses of the Mangus tonight, which is
Yeah.
good. Just Win Wendy, Hooligan Nation, Stacy Ruff, congrats on the Sizzler, Paul, New Chuck, Josh in the 703, American Nightmare, Rev Raider, and of course Rico. Can't thank you guys enough. And for everyone in the chat here, we had so many people in here tonight. Ty Davis, Trinidad, Jay Jackson, T-Hom, Corey Fleck, the Mangus Boys, Pineapple, Yoshi, Ryan Rangel, Fat Guapo is in there, Vibrator, DJ Lenny Danger, let's see, Raider Loco, Just Win Wendy, Lalo Maloso. We can't thank you guys enough. Raider Worm, Tony
Big
Shepard. Yeah. Hey, much respect to everyone. This was a really fun show. Let's go beat the freaking Bills ass, bro. Let's get that shit done, man. You feel me? So thanks for tuning in for another episode of Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. And don't forget, boys and girls, what happens in Vegas started in Oakland. Much respect.
Get on YouTube!
Goodbye.
Or says he's fat?